Yo guys, what up? What up? It's the kid, 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 it's the kid. Trying to live, trying to survive, trying to stay alive, trying to do what I can do, man. So yes, Wilton C, I see you in the background. I will bring you in very soon. I'll bring you in very soon. So we're obviously trying to wait for people to comment. Remember, we're going to be changing things from henceforth, moving forward with these Saturday and Sunday hangouts. From henceforth, the Saturday and Sunday hangouts will now be open. So the Saturday and Sunday hangouts will now be open for the general public and for the audiences and for anybody to come and pop in and do their thing. So that's what we're going to be doing. Saturday and Sunday are going to be open. So before I bring, obviously people are still coming. I've sent out the links. If you want to join, the link I have posted it on my Twitter page. This is going to be a Champions League themed, 100% a Champions League themed breakdown analysis of the terms of the draw, the matches being played, and then maybe perhaps we may even delve into some of the replay. But this is going to be a complete, total CL talk, dissection talk, analysis, and so forth as we slowly, methodically, and periodically build up to what, of course, is the championship which will be happening in a few weeks. The cats, man. Thunder, 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 thunder cats. Thunder, 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 thunder cats. So, and people keep asking about Juju Man. Juju Man, if you're out there, reach out to me. I have not heard from Juju Man for about a few weeks now. So I just hope that he's safe. I hope he's good. Sometimes he is watching this stuff in secret, but I just hope that he's good and he's safe. So before I just bring the guys in, let me just give my general thoughts here. The Champions League was ripped away from us. It was ripped away from us when it was just going. When Marcus Llorente and Morata got that ass, that was a high moment in the CL. And I thought that, things are just going to just get higher and higher and higher. But you know what my thought was? Maybe things were too good. Maybe things were so good and they were too good that we had to have it ripped away from us and taken away from us. So, oh my God, so terrible. But we're back. We're here. And we are going to ride through and we're going to try to dissect. And I do feel this one I want to even talk about more is talk about the individual matches, the individual matchups. Who has the most pressure? Look at all of the differences, and we're just going to have a nice, good back and forth discussion about this. Do Man City need to win it this season? Are they under the most pressure? Do Real Madrid really care about it? Are we sleeping on Barcelona? What do we see about this Gattuso's Napoli? Are we sleeping on Fabian Ruiz and what he can do at the Camp Nou? Juventus. Sarri has to be the most hated manager on the planet, but he's about to deliver a Serie A. And can Sarri actually shock everyone? Can he actually shock everyone? So there are so many narratives. Bayern Munich, will they prove that they are their favorites? Is this maybe Atletico Madrid's year finally? PSG. Apparently, I think PSG resurrected a team to today. I think that because someone sent me a scoreline of PSG and Le Havre, and I think it was a resurrection. So before I just bring my guys in, I just think that all I hope for is this: is based off what happened to us with COVID taking the Champions League away from us, and how we thought we were this close to that being no Champions League. We hope that it is happening. It doesn't get cancelled. It could still get cancelled. It could still get cancelled. COVID is crazy. But I feel that we are owed a classic. We are owed a classic, and we are owed something to bring smiles to our faces, because, guys, we live for this. Football is our oxygen. Football is our food. Football is our passion. Football is all that we know. And I think that, the footballing world, all of us as football matches, because I hope that people here that watch me and have been watching me over the years, we are connoisseurs, we are lovers of football. Football is our thing. Football is how we and that's what I want. I want this to be a place of football to roll through. So let's just bring in all the guys in here, man. So I want to roll first with your boy Gatlock, since Gatlock was not spoken yesterday. Because a lot of the other guys have not spoken. So So before I go to the Gatlog, now this is odd. True Death, thank you for your super chat. Thank you very much. Do you think women are shallow? Okay. First of all, I don't know how that's related to football, but I'll still answer it. Not all women are shallow, but most women are shallow because women are very materialistic. But again, not all women are shallow. But it depends the kind of woman that you go to. It's a very big world, and women outnumber men 5 to 1, I believe. So, Gatlock, first off, are you happy with this format of there not being any two legs and this just being like a one game, like a World Cup, or do you think that the whole two-legged thing will still be missed?
It will be missed, but it's not like there's anything we can do about it, man. Like, it's not UEFA's fault that the COVID happened. We look, we were thrown a bone, man. Beggars can be choosers here, man. It is either this or nothing, and I choose this.
But but do you still think that this can somehow bring about some new excitement based on neutral venue, only one game, and also just like the World Cup, we now know what the semis could be, we now know what the quarterfinals could be, and we now know specifically what the final could be. So, isn't this maybe can it bring some new excitement, or it won't be able to capture the same magic as the two legs that we are used to?
Even when there were two legs, there was a time when they did do the quarter and semi-final draws at the same time. So there was some time when we actually did know the parts. So it's not that different in that scenario. However, when it comes to one-off, this would kind of show which teams are the home merchants and which teams are the non-home merchants. You can just do it at any time. And yeah, well, look, this one, I to be fair, it will give teams like teams who are not in the past who have not been better, like who are not better like after two legs, like who are not better in this two-legged format. Teams that have suffered basically, who have been close, like the Atletico Madrid and PSG. Teams that have been known to be bottlers, there will be no bottle this time, unless yeah, like 2-0 at halftime and you bottle it. There's no bottling this time. There's no tactics. There's no different kind of tactics that we'll take this to Anfield or we'll take this to Camp Nou or anything. Nah, this is do or die World Cup kind of scenario or Euros kind of scenario. I look, it's not the Champions League. It's not doesn't really feel much like the Champions League of two legs. But hey, you know what?
Okay. Let me ask you this then, because we were asked to guys yesterday. Whoever wins it, will there be an asterisk by their name because it's not the Champions League? Will there be an asterisk on the winner?
Nah, there won't be an asterisk. You still have to play the teams. You still have to play them. It's still the
Correct.
same opponents. It's still the same opponents. It's not like you're playing different teams. All these guys qualify for the quarterfinals. They are still one of the top teams in Europe. You have to face to go and win the trophy. It's still the same guys, man. Barring different rules this time, and yeah, look, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it, man, because man, it's do or die, man. You win or you're out. As simple as that, man.
See, the rules have now changed because this is what I was saying before is that, yeah, look, I love two legs. And I said again, the away goal for me is one of the best rules invented in football. It's amazing. Basically, the two best rules for in football for me that new rules that were introduced was the away goal rule and golden goal. I still think golden goal is good because it's so flipping harsh. Um,
I
but
thought Golden Goal was in the game.
what do you mean?
I've only seen it in like games that I've played. It
Oh no,
actually
no, no, no,
existed.
no, no, no. Wait, see. Euro, okay, so because you might have been too young. Euro 2000, when they had golden goal and it was won by a golden goal because Trezeguet scored the goal in the extra time and they won. So golden goal for me, I think it's beautiful. It's like whenever you play in the park, next goal wins. It just gives you that added level of pressure. But I think people just became pussy. No, we don't want it, which is just extremely loose. I mean, don't be scared, man. Um, but let me just hear this. Rildo says HH on his day, Neymar might be the best on earth. Yes, on his day, but real deal, how many times do we see Neymar on his day? I've always said this. When Neymar at his very best should be the leader of football right now, he should be the best player in the world. And I do believe that at their very best, Neymar is the best player in the world. At their very best, I've always said that I'm taking Neymar over Messi because Neymar just has that extra Lara Croft. He's got that extra spice about him. But how many times do we see him at his best? That's the issue. So again, to Gatlock then, who do you think who has the most pressure to win the Champions League? If you had to pick one team that has the most pressure to win the Champions League,
PSG. Based
over
on their
Man City.
roots, over Man City, because City have a tougher route than PSG, man. That's why. Because if City lose to any top team, okay, it's a top team. That's the same excuse they gave PSG in the past years. But yo, PSG, your route is Atalanta, Leipzig, or Atletico Madrid. Those guys have the same inexperience as you. You have no excuse this time. Okay, you are technically better than all of them, man for man. Their Champions League pedigree is the same as yours when it comes to trophies won. You have no excuse. And if PSG don't get it done, man, Neymar fans, run away. Be afraid. Be afraid. Especially just best team, man. Because, bro, I am tired. I am so tired. Because everybody has been running
Okay,
off about this guy.
so why would you say that they have more pressure over thingy? And I'll also guys, don't worry, I'm going to get to all of you guys very soon. I just wanted just to go through Gatlock and Red since they didn't speak yesterday. So, lastly, before I go to Red, why would you say that PSG have more pressure than Man City, who the money they've spent, they have Pep Guardiola, the whole thing with Pep never having won without Messi.
Nah, Pep has pressure, like the next after PSG, basically. I just feel because of PSG's route, which is easier, they have more pressure to win. Because if Real Madrid win, they probably likely they'll face who are they supposed to face after that? Probably Barcelona or Bayern Munich. I think I can. Okay, sorry, they face Lyon or Juventus, which they should go through in whoever comes out.
And the most
Unless
likely
Juventus
Bayern or Barcelona.
and then Bayern or Barcelona, they have to go through that tough route to win. Look, due to their defense, I don't think they will be able to go through that tough route. But they are under pressure to perform. Pep is under pressure. Although we'll see how much pressure they are in by tomorrow. Because if that ban is upheld, this is their last chance before their ban. But if the ban is still there, then they can try again next year, as well as for the Premier League. But yeah, I feel PSG, based on how much they spent and their route to the final, I feel they have more pressure than Man City, whose route is tougher. City still have pressure, but I just feel PSG have just a little bit more pressure.
Okay.
Imagine PSG losing to Atalanta compared to City losing to
No.
Madrid or Juventus.
We'll talk about the PSG Atalanta. We'll talk about the PSG Atalanta. Let me just hit this from your boy. Arsenal are favorites. Bro, look, man. Look. I'm not addressing. I've already addressed that already. Please, this is Champions League talk. This is not mid-table talk. From Cochineros says, why are pundits like Jules at ESPN putting PSG as favorites from the easy side of the draw? They never got in past the quarters. Now, to answer that, also, Coach Neros, I think I showed a message. If you want to join this, Coach Neros, click on the link I posted on Twitter or email me via the Football Hot website, and then I can then maybe email you the link. So, two answers to this. First one is Jules has actually come out and said he's a PSG fan. Remember, he's French, and he's actually said he's a fan of PSG, so he's a PSG fan. That's the first thing. Second thing is people keep falling for the same mistake. We'll get to it. That's PSG Atalanta game. That's not an easy game for PSG. Atalanta are not Le Havre. They're not Evian. They're not Croissant FC. Okay, they're not Eiffel Tower United. They're a proper team who know how to score goals. And Atalanta are praying for a team who attacks. And also, bro, how relevant has Thiago Silva been? So Atalanta, who have been battle tested, have been playing dozens of matches at full strength in the Serie A, they will be more sharper than PSG, who you're playing Ringa Ringa Roses and Tiddlywinks. That game is going to be a lot closer than people think. And for me, I don't even know who to pick. When you really study the game, you study both teams, you look at how much sharper match rates Atalanta are and how PSG have. Bro, it's very dicey. It's very dicey. So let me come to Red now. So Red,
for laughs, I want Atalanta to be PSG just for laughs. It's just make me laugh. It's a bit so funny.
What? Wait, what did you say?
I said for laughs. I just want Atalanta to win just for laughs. It just make me laugh.
Look, we'll see. We'll see. Yo, Red, are you there, bro? Red. Is your mic working? Red. Okay, man.
Hello. Sorry, I was muted.
Okay, cool.
My bad.
Okay, so Red. What? So first of all, your reaction. Do you think that looking at this draw, the matches and so forth, are you now excited with this new format? Lesser degree of error, far harsher. You don't have the home leg tie, therefore it's a lot more of a high pressure situation. Do you like this format, or you think that it still won't be able to replicate the fun and the drama of the away goal and the two-legged thing, or do you think things will just introduce a new drama?
No, there's always going to be drama. When there's winners and losers and there's like the Champions League at stake, the drama is going to be there. Is it better? No, it's not better. It's less content for us. And like there's less excitement when you're actually watching the games. Like when the beauty of the home and away is that it's a true measure of character. Like when you have the pressure on you, like you're in a away stadium where everybody's against you, everybody's booing you, and you have that, and then you have the advantage at home and which team is better in both scenarios. It gives you it's just more entertaining. For me personally, at least, that's my preference. This is us condensed. We only get one 90-minute game, and it's like every other day. Like the games are just so quick. Like, there's no like spacing. You don't get to see form, or like you don't get to see. We don't get to see a true metric of like it's not really a test. It seems like a friendly tournament almost, a glorified friendly tournament.
Okay, see, you say this. So for the Euros, Copa America, Nations Cup, World Cup, do you view those as friendlies then?
That's different, HH. See, that is a country developing a team of their best 11, and they're going to compete. Like they're giving their nation's best to go and compete with other nations' best. That's different. This is
no. But then
this is billionaire. This is like $1 billion teams just forming them together, picking the best players here and there, and putting them in 90 minutes. Where like we don't really get to see the like. Because like, when you have players at that level, like when you want to see,
but see, why do we need 180 minutes to judge you by how good you are rather than 90 minutes?
It's not just the 180 minutes. Like the Champions League, the degree of difficulty is like when you're doing it along the league, like along with the league. It's much more exciting when it's spread out over the course of a year. It's the fact that it's just in 1 month. It's just one 90-minute time. It's like they're just trying to get it done just for the TV rights. There's no actual effort or any like really anything put into it.
Okay. So Red. So would you have rather that they just scrapped it and waited until they could have done it properly then?
Yeah, like the crown was already lost. Like Liverpool were the defending champions, and they lost their crown right before this happened. So like they could have just scrapped it, hold no winner. There's no current champion, and then next year they just start all over again.
Okay,
like
so now this is interesting. So Red, you will then say, whoever wins this Champions League isn't a real winner.
Yeah, it's a mess. Teams aren't even the same teams anymore. Like players are leaving their clubs. They can't even play in the Champions League anymore. Like it makes no sense to me. Like it's just like how can you have active transfers?
That and injuries.
What do you mean the difference? This is an injury, and this one could be controlled. Like this one, you could literally just weakening other teams. Like now, Leipzig don't have Werner. Aren't Leipzig still in the Champions League? Like they don't have them. Like the teams are losing their players. We don't know how many more transfers. Also, isn't there a conflict of interest in there also as well? Like, what if a team, let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, just because it's my club, I'll say it, like Real Madrid, right? They don't care about the Champions League. We've already won 3 in a row. We could pull out, like, somebody comes and be like, you know what? Like, go after this player, cause distress or, form alliances. Like I know that I'm talking about conspiracies. This is a bit like stupid, but I'm just giving an analogy. Like you can have conflicts of interest in these scenarios. Like how can you have active transfer and an active competition for competitiveness? And these clubs are able to buy from each other and do everything. It's just you can have a lot of shystiness when you do something like that.
No. But the thing I don't understand is that it is still a competition. It is still my team against your team. And yes, obviously.
Yeah.
No,
To answer your question,
wait. Just wait. I know where you're coming from. It is not the ideal scenario, of course. But COVID has been introduced and it has thrown things up and around. But my thing though is that this is really hard because you don't have the cushion of playing in your home stadium. You only have 90 minutes. It's a very brutal schedule. So there's less of a margin of error. So even more so, whoever wins this, I would actually probably even give you more kudos because this in its own specific way is actually harder than the traditional way where you know that, man, at least we have the buffer of our home stadium. But this is just neutral venue, one game, that's it. And anything can happen in that 90 minutes.
No, I just want to answer this because I feel like people think that I hate that. No, I love the fact that we're getting content. I love the fact that we're getting football. I want to see the Champions League. This is still going to be. There's no asterisks to the trophy. I'm just saying if you're comparing, like which format is better, the other format, obviously.
Remember you said that whoever wins it's not real because it's not like a real Champions League. So
it's not the same because. If you're comparing to the actual competition, like the real Champions League, there's no competition. Of course, the real Champions League is much harder than this one. This one is just like it's a bit more condensed and it's going to be a bit quicker. But like to be honest with you, we already know who the winner is. The winner is going to come from the right side of the draw. Like nobody on the left. The tougher team, the teams that go through the toughest teams are the ones that end up winning it. Like if you look at it historically, no team that ever got an easy.
Okay, that's what you mean. Okay, all right. So basically,
the right side of Joe is the one with Real Madrid and
don't have a chance then.
Pretty much, yeah. Because there are. First of all, why look? All due respect to PSG and Neymar and Mbappe and all these, but I haven't seen them play in months. Like I don't even know how good they really are anymore. Like today they won.
They played today, right?
They played a friendly against 9-0. I don't even who. Like the football app that I have doesn't even have the name of the players that they were playing against. I'm not even kidding. So we don't know how good they are. So I don't know how. I've seen City play. I've seen Madrid play. I've seen Barca play. I've seen Bayern play. They're good.
Wait. I want to bring some other guys. So let me just hit some switches. So from Nathan, who says, if you had to bet on it, will City get banned tomorrow? Hell no. And I would I don't have the money, but I would very happily put money down and say that Man City will not get banned tomorrow. They will not get banned tomorrow. I am pretty positive that it's not happening. From Tudari, who says, if Chelsea miraculously gets through Bayern and win the UCL, will it feel like less of an achievement due to the format? Hell effing no. If the universe makes the mistake of Chelsea coming through and winning this, we are doing a 1 week stream. 7 days, no sleep. Trust me, I wouldn't say what we're doing is 7 days from it's not real for me. Get the heck out of here. Wait, let me just so from your broad culture nerds, let's be real. No one cares about the league apart from La Liga title race. Maybe everything is just building up to the CL baby #Ogreal. Look, I've always said that. Look, we can talk about. See, now this is interesting. Okay, let me just I still respect the league. I always respect whatever happened domestically and everything. But let's keep it real. The Champions League is the most exciting competition. Like I like how people like say, "Oh no, the FA Cup has this magic and special." Oh, yeah, the FA Cup is cool. The Champions League is one of the most amazing sporting competitions in the world. And the thing about this is that, yes, what makes things special, of course, are the two legs. But guys, let's keep it real. Let's be really real. It's about these are the best team, the best facing the best. So for me, I'm like, I would love the two-legged, but no. This is the best with the best, which is why, by hook or by crook, I don't care how it is. If we get a PSG Bayern Champions League final, I'm getting 5 meals. Eba, pandediam, suya, okra, pepper soup, everything, plantain. It's all going down. Groundnuts, Gary, everything is coming in there. This is interesting. Portugal. So, Red. Before I come to Vilton here. So, Red. Portugal's Euro 2016 win. It doesn't count because it's a new format.
What do you mean it doesn't count? Like, no, it's not up to the fact that it's a new format that it doesn't count. I didn't say that. I don't think it doesn't count. I think it counts absolutely. There's no asterisk at it. If you win it, you win it. It's part of your history. It's because this is an outlier year. I'm just saying from an objective standpoint that this isn't harder than the other one. I wouldn't want to go to this if they were to change the format, or if they think that they could cheap out on us and do shit like this. No, like the Champions League as is better.
Look, BD Core, let's discuss afterwards, man, because people will say, let's BD Core, let BD Core in. The amount of times you've derailed the chats has been too much, and so forth and everything. And also, you insulted me. Okay, you made stuff insulting me, so I don't know why you're still back here when you flipping insulted me on your videos. So look, we can discuss afterwards, but look, you've been insulting me and everything, so you can't be two-faced like that towards me. After insulting me, now you want to be back in.
But so sorry, but one last thing, HH, like for the Euro 2016, like also, yes, they added a new rule change. That's they're more improving on it. It's just like you're tweaking the sport. This isn't improving on the sport. You know what I mean? Like when you add a rule, let's say for example, like the new handball rule, the new offside rule, or that, it's because they find that these are cheap tactics that teams could use, and they adjust them. These are rule changes. It's different to changing the whole competition, because like once you remove something from like remove an ingredient or add a whole different element, it's no longer that thing anymore. It changes. And this is not, yes, it will be a Champions League, and it is a trophy, and it's a major trophy because you won it over Madrid. You have bragging rights over Madrid, City, Bayern, Barcelona. These are the biggest teams in the world. Liverpool, everybody's in this, like all the top teams are in it, and you won it over all of them. Absolutely, it counts. That's not the argument at all. But what I'm saying is that it does not compare to the original format. It's not as difficult to the original format.
No. But see, that is where I'm getting onto that. They are both difficult, but for different reasons. The original format is difficult because it's 180 minutes. You don't have to go to someone else's compound and stadium to try to beat them, where they're very strong in their stadium. That's the difficulty. The difficulty of this is that you don't have the benefits of playing in your own stadium, and you don't have 180 minutes. You only have 90 minutes. And what do they always say? Anything can happen in one game. If it was over 2 legs, PSG will beat Atalanta very easily. I will be confident. 90 minutes, neutral venue, anything can happen in a game like that. And 90 minutes, PSG Atalanta, anyone can win. 180 minutes, 2 legs, PSG win. PSG win. So this whole thing brings itself a new difficult. But I want to bring some other guys in. So Vilton, so just from what we're saying, this format, are you a fan of this format? Not a fan of this format? Do you think this format is still good? With regards to, do you think that this brings itself a certain level of difficulty, or do you think it's probably easier than playing over total legs?
In my opinion, I think this format, in a way, I think it's harder than the original format because there's no second chances. Like it's one or done. It's like a World Cup. Whoever shows up is gonna win. It's anyone can win. I see Red was saying that the side where Barca, Man City, and Napoli and Bayern, that's the side who's gonna win. You can't say that. Anybody can win it. Don't be surprised if Atalanta, Lisbon, Atletico, or anybody wins it. It's anybody game. You just have to show up one game at a time. Like I'm not gonna be surprised.
Not likely. Highly. The examples of that are just so slim. You saw what happened in 2018 World Cup final. Destroyed.
Yeah.
That smaller team, Madrid against Atletico, Madrid beats them. Liverpool against Madrid, Madrid beats them. Always the bigger club always wins. Like it's very, very rare. Like when was the last time it happened?
2012.
I guess Greece, 2002. That was 18 years ago. Like that's it. Like rarely. And I'm talking
you
about.
could say 2012 too when Chelsea.
Wait. So Red, you're saying that in over 90 minutes, the bigger team will always win?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you're saying that. Okay. Sorry, Vilton, I'll get back to you. Just what I understand. You're saying that Atalanta would have a better chance of beating PSG over 2 legs than in one game at a neutral venue.
Yeah, absolutely. The away goal is vital. Like if Atalanta, let's say for example, they go away to PSG, and let's say for example they lose 3-2, and they just go back home and they just have to defend and get a 1-0. Like then they could go through on away goals. Like it's complete the game plan, the tactics, the beauty, like when you actually want to look at the sport and analyze it and see like
no. Okay. Wait. Sorry, Vilton. Sorry, because everyone has to talk. So Vilton, finish your point.
Yeah, I think it's harder. Like in a way, the way the format is right now, I think it's a little bit harder. There's no fan, there's no neutral. It's neutral venue. Like there's no second chances. A lot of teams rely on the second chances, and like a team like Barca and PSG, they always rely on that home advantage to do what they do. But I think it's a little bit harder. It's anybody Champions League, and the reason why I'm saying it's harder too, because all the games gonna happen so fast. Fitness level is gonna be a really big thing. I'm not gonna be surprised if Neymar gets injured or Mbappe gets. I'm not gonna be surprised about that. Fitness gonna be. It's like a World Cup. Your fitness gonna be have to be really high because I'm pretty sure the game's gonna happen every other game. Like it's the entire month of it. Usually in the regular format, the game happen every other week or so. Like February we get round of 16, then March we get the quarterfinal and stuff like that. I think it's gonna be harder in a way, but don't just say that the big team gonna win it. Maybe this year might be it because we guarantee a new finalist in the final no matter what. You never know.
Okay. What's it called? Eye test. So what do you think? What do you think is harder? Two legs or just the one leg? Which the funny thing is obviously no red. I'll get back to you, but pretty much everyone in the live chats is saying the one leg is harder. That one match is harder. Um, Eye test. What do you think is it? Two legs or the one leg?
For me, the one leg is harder. What makes the World Cup is that there's only one chance. There's no home advantage. There's no ultras to support you. There's no second leg to bring back your loss in a first leg. There's no fans. There's only one game, neutral stadium, and it's our team against your team. Who plays better in this game? The pressure is on because I think there's more pressure in one game, because if you lose in a two-legged game, you can always say,
No,
we have
wait. Easy, wait. I said so. Before you finish, you know that you know how people think in two legs, as you just said. People go into one leg saying like, we're happy to lose this game. Let's just get the away goal because we know that when we go back to our crib, we're going to sort them out. So fine. So you actually even happily take the two. See, this thing, Red. This is what you're missing. The two-leg thing is more exciting. It's not harder. It's just much more exciting because when you go into saying that I'm happy to take a loss because when we now get to our stadium, our fans that we know about, we're going to roast these guys. We're going to roast these guys. But as Itest said, is that it's one game, 90 minutes. There's no like I'm going to lose. No, you have to win this game. There's no I'll take a loss. No. It's all on this now, baby. It's all on this. Itest, go.
You're right about the managers saying, we're gonna get a draw this game, and in the next game we're gonna go for it. I think that's also what makes the one leg better, because your boy Uncle Mo, when he was at Man United, I remember he used to do this in when we used to play in the Champions League. I remember against Sevilla, he on purpose he tried to get a draw. He tried to nick a draw, but then second leg the plan didn't work. But my point is that one leg, both teams will go for it. They're not going to sit back. They're not going to defend. They're not going to try and nick a draw. I think the one leg is way better. There's much more pressure. And there's no asterisk. You win it. I'm not having that.
Okay.
I think it's relative though.
Wait, actually, no. Let's everyone just so Jamal, what do you think? What's harder, two legs, one leg, one match, or do you see where Red may be coming from and how it's maybe harder with the whole two-legged thing, 180 minutes?
I think this format now is harder because, as you say, I could also use my team Liverpool. Liverpool are trash away from home, but we fans don't get annoyed because we know when you bring it back to Anfield, we're gonna win. But I just want to ask HH a question. If Liverpool did win this format this season, let's say we stayed in it, would you have said we have successfully defended our crown?
Yes.
Yes?
100%. No. You see, anybody that said that, they did this because it was different. No. See, This was what people don't understand. That like, oh, there'll be an asterisk. 10 years from now, who is going to care? Someone told me, I don't know, I think I need to research that apparently the 1994 Champions Leagues was one leg. I need to research, but someone said I think the 94 Champions League
The
was only played for one leg.
The European Cup was like that. European Cup was pretty much just knockout style tournament, no group stage, no nothing, and they improved on it by making the.
No, someone said the 19, because remember it became the Champions League I think in 92, but someone said the 94. I need to research, but still, forget that. History will just say Champions League winners. That's all the history will say, and it will still count on your record that you have a European crown. So we say, oh, it's not real. This medal is real. This trophy is real. This parade is real. So you can cry all you want and say, oh, no. We have this, because you see, people play for the medal. Okay? And once you can touch that medal, yeah, it's real. It's real. So, Jamal, continue.
Yeah, and another question you asked is who need this CL more? It's obviously Manchester City. It's Pep. Pep gets nightmares of Laurenti handball. He sweats every time you mention UCL. Anytime a pundit asks him about the UCL, he gets a twitch in his eye, gets irked. You could see Pep wants this CL. He's obsessed with it. He needs this. So I will say Pep and Manchester City need this CL the most over PSG.
So why would you say City have, so specifically, why does City have more pressure than PSG, who have spent a lot more money, and also it's Neymar? They spent 230 million on Neymar.
Yeah, it's very close between those two. I could see why people will say PSG, but I will say Manchester City because they bought Pep. This was a 10-year project. They say they need to win this Champions League. They spent over $500 million on this squad. And I know the ban might go through, but they could still be out of the Champions League for a year or 2 years. Who knows? So I feel the pressure is really on Pep. And the next thing I'll say, it's more on Manchester City, is Pep do not stay long at teams. The most Pep stays at a team is 4 years max. So if he don't win it this year, and he might win it next year, I think he's out. And trust me, Manchester City is not winning the Champions League with no Pep.
Okay. So who? Abdullahi.
Yep.
Yo, big man, relax. We're not talking Chelsea. We're not talking Chelsea, man. So, so do you? Because I already know the answer to one of your questions. So before we even get there,
okay,
what do you think that this format is harder than the two-legged format, or do you think the two-legged format is a lot harder? Do you maybe see where red is coming from? That maybe lesser teams can maybe just catch a harder team unaware in this. So really the two-legged thing is a better representation of how good you really are.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with everything what Red said. And also I think the away leg.
Whoa, what?
This guy.
I think for me, I think
no. Okay, wait, no. Hold on.
Where's that from?
Abdullahi, first off, let me just say that any kids, any baby mamas, any side chicks, any escorts, can you please remove them from the room right now, please?
Yeah, I just did it.
Okay, please. Okay, because I had a child.
Yeah,
that child is yours, but I had a child. That's what I said. So I'd like you, please continue, and please don't bring any children to the whole thing, man. That was quite scary.
Okay, so I think I understand what Red is going to about what Red said. I also listened to what Gatlock and the rest guys said, but we need to understand this thing. I think the lesser team has more advantage than the big team in terms of the way they set up the Champions League now at the moment, because in just only one match is when you play it, you don't. Because look at this match: PSG, Barcelona, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, and the rest of the team. Now, if they play a team who play low, mid block or low block, they're gonna have a difficulties in breaking them down. That is one advantage those lesser team has, because most of them won't go pressing high with them. They will only go deep block and just counter them. And there's gonna be a problem for those big team playing them. That's why I say this one-legged team is gonna be a little very difficult because once you play it, you're out of the tournament. It's gonna be very very difficult, very hurtful and difficult for those big team playing it because once you score one goal at the moment, it's not gonna count two goals. It's just gonna be one goal. That's it. You have to score multiple goals, like at least 1, 2, 3, 4 goals before even the team you're playing think of coming back. But if it is second leg, there's still gonna be there's a chance of this, there's a chance of that. But this one, no chance. Once you score, that's it. So I think those big team has to be wary a lot about those the team coming down like e.g. like Atletico, Atalanta, RSB Leipzig.
So,
Yes,
okay, so you agree with Red that this format must actually be easier and favor the smaller teams?
yeah, because look, if you look at those teams like Atletico and the rest of the team, people may not give them chance, but this team knows how to play. Atletico, they knows how to defend. They can defend with their entire life.
They,
One goal,
they,
and that's
they
it.
stand no chance, man. They stand no chance. The winner's coming from the right. It's a foregone conclusion. Even it's unfortunate for Atletico.
Wait. Easy. Wait, Abdullah, just finish because I want to make sure everyone speaks. Abdullah, just finish your point so I can go to Yasir. So, Abdullah, finish your point.
Because if you look at Atletico can score one goal and defend with their entire life. They won't even come out. That's an advantage for them because Diego Simeone have been doing that countless of times, years after years. He's been doing that, so he knows how to do that a lot. So imagine Atletico playing Bayern Munich, PSG, or Man City, and they score one goal and they defend with their entire life. So that's an advantage for Atletico. What if Man City, PSG, Bayern doesn't know how to defend? They only know how to play. They only know how to play possession football and this score a lot of goals. It's gonna be difficult for them to break down. So that's the advantage this lesser team has, unlike the bigger teams.
Okay, so and also I know the answer to this question, but I just want you to say it. Who has the most pressure to win the champs this season? Who must win?
For Guardiola, he has to win it. If he doesn't win it, I keep saying it. People say I have an agenda against Pep. I keep saying it. If Pep Guardiola doesn't win that,
No, Abdullah, do you have an agenda against Pep?
sure I have. Yes, I have. You cannot spend that kind of amount of money, and you people keep giving stupid excuse that is the best manager in the world. He hasn't won the Champions League in how many years? That Ford hasn't won the Champions League in how many years? So I don't want to hear any excuse that he did this. No excuse. If you can't win the Champions League for me, don't put yourself in an elite manager at the moment. I'm sorry. Yes, he has won 2 Champions League, but he won it with Leo Messi. Apart from Leo Messi, has he ever won it again? No, he hasn't. So this is his chance in Man City to prove everybody wrong. And me, and especially me, he has to prove me wrong. Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne, Ederson Moraes. Look at those players he bought. Those players can win. They can win you matches. Single-handedly can win you matches. If you cannot guarantee me Champions League, I'm sorry, Pep Guardiola, you don't even need to put him in an elite manager at the moment. No, you don't need to put him because people say he's the best in this, he's the best in that, and
what about the Champions League one? He's a 2-time CL winner.
Carlos also won Champions League 3 times. So what are you saying? Jose Mourinho won the Champions League 2 times. So what are you saying? So Zinedine Zidane won the Champions League 3 times in a row. So what are you saying? These are managers who has won the Champions League. So no excuse for Pep not winning the Champions League. I don't want to hear any excuse. If he doesn't win it this year, I'm not putting him in any top tier 3 or top 2 manager. No. This is his final year. He has to win it. He has to deliver it. Whatsoever wins, he has to deliver the Champions League. He has to.
Okay. What's this guy? Mr. Yasir Said. So this format, compare the two pluses and minuses of 2 legs and just the 1 leg. What are the pluses and the minuses?
Okay, so pluses and minuses of both legs. Degree of difficulty, 110%. I mean, you have 1 game to win it all versus 2 games. It's easier to have 2 grow at it. It's like gambling. I mean, if you have 2 chances to win money versus 1 chance to win money, which one would you choose? The 2 chances. I mean, I love the away goal rule, so I do prefer the 2 legs. But I mean, this one is gonna be crazy. Anything can happen. I mean, imagine Real Madrid, Manchester City. Real Madrid scored in the 4th minute. It's 1-0. Real Madrid just needs another goal in extra time. And it's just, I mean, say PSG Atalanta. PSG get a red card in the 2nd minute. Like their goalkeeper does something crazy, Buffon or something. Whoever's playing a goal, it's probably going to be Buffon, by the way. He gets a red card.
Buffon is in Juve.
Oh, so sorry, my fault. I'm still. I
Excuse
completely.
me, who? Wait, who? Who?
Okay. But anyways, someone gets a red card. Someone eats something wrong during their breakfast. You know, they get a stomach bug. They can't play. Anything can happen. Someone pulls up with a hamstring. Like, it's one game. The pressure is unbelievable. When I think about one game, I think about the World Cup. I think about that game, Brazil, Germany. I think about Argentina and Germany, the most intense final I've ever witnessed. It's so intense. I think
The pressure is on. Pressure. There's no second leg. There's no second leg. Red, I'm telling you, there's no second leg. Red, aren't you listening, baby?
I mean, you got Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. Sergio Ramos had to score, and he had to score, or else Atletico Madrid was going to lift the title. You have to. And the team with the most pressure and the person with the most pressure, I've thought about this so much. There's so many people out there with pressure. There's Lewandowski with pressure. There's Juve and Cristiano Ronaldo with pressure. But the team with the most pressure is Barcelona. By far is Barcelona.
What?
But hear me out.
Okay. Explain.
Because Barcelona is either you go up from here or you go tumbling down. You lose La Liga. You have Messi. The board is your board is a mess. It's probably gonna change in a year. Griezmann is turning into a bust. If Barcelona does not win this Champions League, then everything changes. You have to make big changes.
Wait. I'll come back to you. Yasser has a point because people are saying Man City, PSG, but at the end of the day, City still have the Carabao Cup, and they could still have the FA Cup. PSG have, of course, every trophy they win in France because it's Uber Eats. If Barcelona don't win this, and unless Real Madrid completely and totally F up, it could be the first truly trophyless season because someone said, they won nothing in 2014. I think they won like a Spanish Super Copa in 2014. This could be the first trophyless season for Barcelona in about a decade or more.
And then also you gotta look at Messi's age. You on borrowed time. Like this guy is not getting any younger. Every year you have this guy, is every year like you have to cherish it. You can't. Barcelona is on a lifeline right now. The club could literally turn into a Milan. This is the fear for Barcelona. Because where do you go from?
That's not going to happen though. They won't turn to Milan.
No, I mean, Messi is a.
Yes, yeah. Relax. Don't say Barcelona. Milan.
Yes.
No. Milan went broke.
No.
Milan went broke. Barcelona could be broke.
You're sniffing.
Okay. And anyways, I'm gonna wrap up because we got to move on. But the thing is, when in terms of pressure, like Pep Guardiola, I say he has pressure. Abdullah says he has pressure. We all say we have pressure, but I don't think there's any pressure on Pep Guardiola because this guy has a shield, and that's the media. The media loves Pep Guardiola. They will always put him on a pedestal, and he's comfortable.
No. The pressure that Pep has, you can say media this, media that. I can't remember. I'll try and remember. There was a press conference where a Nigerian journalist said to Pep that, Pep, many people say that you can't win the Champions League without Messi. And Pep in that kind of very kind of tongue-in-cheek way was like, yep. So, you see, Pep is very good at playing the media game and he's got a great poker face. It's very hard to know what he's really thinking because he's very, very good at having a guard. But deep down, Pep knows that I have all the trophies to prove myself. I'm successful. But it's one of those things that where Pep is like, I want to prove I can do this without Messi. So I can stop this dumbass narrative. He knows it's a stupid narrative because he's like, a win is a win. I want two champions. It is what it is. But there are these
But
little
then-
things that people challenge themselves with, and I think he's like, oh no. It will mean, just like he said that his greatest ever win was the 98 points with Man City, based on how difficult it was. So he knows that because he's come up short so many times and so forth, when he does, because I think he probably will, when he does win a Champions League without Messi, it will be the sweetest, based on how difficult it will be without having the Super Goku, Gohan, Goten, Super Saiyan, flipping Ultra Saiyan do that Messi's. But so yes, it's round off, so I can go to Sean. So round off your point.
All right, so because I genuinely believe Barcelona and Messi have the biggest pressure. And then like just so my last comment before we move on, them even though people believe there's a narrative, I mean, yes, you can put all the narratives out there, but that's the thing about narratives. There could always be new ones. The new narrative that could be on the horizon, by the way, guys. If Barcelona does fail and Messi does fail and Pep fail, they can join back together. Moving on.
Okay. So before I go to Sean, let me just hit this super chat from your boy Nasa, who says, Abdullahi, go back to your side chicks. Pep doesn't need to prove you wrong. I don't think.
Can I respond to that?
Okay, I'll respond very briefly so I could go to respond.
See, for me, people. Okay, let me clarify what people doesn't understand now. I rate Pep a lot, and I keep saying it. For me, he's one of the great manager, not the greatest. For me, one of the great. There's a difference between greatest, and one of the great. It's like comparing Cristiano Ronaldo and Leo Messi. Both of them are one of the great, and not the greatest. When you're talking about greatest, you choose Maradona, you choose Pelé. Those are the greatest. Those two are one of the great. Pep Guardiola is not the greatest. He's one of the great. People keep giving him excuse a lot. And that's what I'm saying. That my agenda against him is not based on him. Is doing this, is doing that. My agenda against him is in terms of accolades, in terms of achievement, he has won everything as a manager, and I rate him and I respect that a lot. His achievement says a lot about him. But we need to remember this: you cannot spend this kind of money as a manager and you don't win Champions League, and people come out and give you an excuse that it's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of this. I'm tired of that excuse. I keep saying it. Pep has to win the Champions League in Manchester City. Now this is his year to win it. We're done with excuse.
Okay.
This is
okay.
He has to win it.
Okay.
If he doesn't win it this year, no Pep Guardiola fans should come out and give me because
okay.
of this.
Okay. All right. Okay. Wait. Let me hit this super chat. So Armchair Critic says, sorry for missing your super chats. He says, okay, I think I've missed a few. The last time, sorry, so Armchair Critic says the last team you guys want to win. That's a bit of a weird question, but you see, okay. Okay, look. Now, I'm not hating. Okay,
Juventus.
let me be clear here.
Juventus.
Let me land. Just let me land. I'm not hating. I love Juventus. I used to own a Juventus jersey. Del Piero is one of my favorite players of all time.
Until Ronaldo joined.
I'm going to put a hex on this dude. So I'm doing a pilgrimage to a witch doctor. I'm going to put a hex because I think that he's won enough, he's done enough, and I think it's time for him to retire with the amount that he's done. Because if he does win, things will
If
be
he has
very
done enough, are
problematic
you
for him
acknowledging
to
him as
channel.
good?
So I'm going to revisit a witch doctor. It has nothing to do with Juventus. So Sean,
if he has done enough, does that mean you've accepted him as a good?
So Sean, do you have your mic working? Sean, you have your mic working?
Yeah, it's working.
So Sean, so we know that you are a intellectual, very intelligent dude. You're a savant. You are.
I don't know.
No, Sean. No, Sean. I've got the mic. Sean, I've got the mic. We know that the way you've raised the level of the intellectuality of the Hangout and so forth. So I'm going to give you a very loaded question. So, can you, in your extremely thoughtful, intelligentsia, critical critique way, which you do because you use these extremely complicated long words, because of course you did invent the dictionary because you're one of the smartest guys I've ever known in my life. Okay. Can you please tell us the advantages, disadvantages, and how you would sort of contrast the difficulties players will face of this format of one game and the two-legged formats? Sean, Jeremiah Walsh, the floor is yours.
Okay, well, firstly, that's all. I don't claim any of those words, and that's kind of patronizing, by the way. But
No, easy, no. I don't mean this in a patronizing way. As much as I am pissed off with some of the opinions you have, I do that you are the way that you put forth arguments, I think, is extremely concise and so forth. And I do respect, even if I despise your opinions, I respect the way that you put forth your opinions. Floor is yours.
So yeah, I love with his voice, not his opinions.
Okay, I appreciate that. But if you want to talk about the comparison between a single elimination versus a two-legged affair, but this two-legged affair there's an away goal rule too, so you have to take that into account. I mean, the reason, I think there was a point about the World Cup. Well, the reason why the World Cup is so much more significant is because it's also every 4 years. So not only is it a single elimination, it's every 4 years, where various players are being cycled out. So you may only have 1 or 2 chances in your entire career. And then that's why it's so much more significant. If UCL was a single leg elimination every single year, it wouldn't hold the same weight. The disadvantages, well, you have to take into account the global pandemic for the single elimination this year, is that, well, there's a huge break. I mean, how rusty are players going to be? The fact that there's 2 leagues, when you look at the French league, I mean, PSG had some friendly today, but overall it seems like they may be rusty going into the Atalanta match, which Atalanta have been playing very well. So you have to look at the teams that have been playing more consistently as opposed to teams that aren't. So it's not only taking into account how the single elimination works, but also the fact that this pandemic is making it difficult for teams to find any sort of consistency going forward. And also you take into account that it's also in the summer, it's extremely hot, the conditions aren't the same, you're in a neutral venue, there's no crowd. So when you play in an atmosphere with fans, obviously you're going to be a little more amped and excited. That's just how things are, especially if you're a player of that pedigree. You want fans to either be on your side or going against them, because it has a lot of other motivational factors there. So that's another reason. And then I think those are the difficulties with that. But also, Red was talking about how potentially an inferior team could actually win. It's easier for an inferior team to upset somebody in a single leg knockout competition as opposed to 2 legs. Because in a 2-legged affair in the Champions League, away goals matter. You can tie.
Wait, but Sean, then from that point just made, an inferior team, then doesn't it then make it harder for the superior team because you don't have that cushion?
No, exactly.
Another 9 points and so forth.
So it could go both ways because there's more pressure on a superior team because you're expected to win. So there's a psychological aspect there. And it makes it, okay, well, it's 1 leg. It's just 1 game. Maybe the inferior team, they don't have to win. There's not as much pressure on them. It makes it slightly easier for them. So it sort of depends which way you want to look at it. And a 2-legged affair could definitely benefit a bigger team. But also it can benefit a smaller team too, because the away goal rule matters. And teams that play well away, you can have a significant chance of going forward. So, I mean, it is a pretty difficult question to compare, considering we haven't had a circumstance like this before. I think if you were to put it in a vacuum and you were to choose as a spectator, what would you prefer? Would you prefer a single leg elimination, or would you prefer 2 legs? I would prefer 2 legs because it does show, it shows who the better team is, historically at least, because there's less chance of an upset, and you want to have it in a home and away venue. It just makes more sense that way. There's no right or wrong answer for this. But... So
so personally for you, what do you? Because we can never know, because we have to see it play through and see what happens. But just from the outset, what do you think will be more exciting? Do you think that this will have the same kind of excitement as the 2-legged that we're used to? Or you don't think that it will be able to replicate the drama of the away goal, the second leg, and so forth?
No, it won't. And if people disagree with that, it's mainly because the fact that there hasn't been much football, and that this is the best that we can possibly do given the circumstances with the pandemic. Like, if we were to go back in time and say no pandemic, play the 2 legs, and you can also consider a fact, how about we just do a single elimination instead with no other external driving factor here? You just say, okay, just a single leg elimination or a 2-legged affair. What would you prefer as a fan? Every single person would say a 2-legged affair because it's the home and away aspect. It's the fact that away goals matter more. So that's why it's a little more difficult, but it's also a little more exciting. So definitely for me, 2 legs is more fun. And as a Barca fan, if I want to talk about predictions here, as a Barca fan, I think there were some comments saying, of course, Barca fans would like this. Yeah, it is easier on Barca because Barca have capitulated away from home in recent years. So it might be easier for a team like Barcelona. And Yassi was saying, I think he was saying about pressure, how Barca have the most pressure. Do they have the most pressure though? Think about how many teams that switch managers. How much pressure do they really have? Like, I mean, they're not expected to win. The way Barcelona have been playing, you've been analyzing Barcelona over the past 6 months, you'd realize that they're not playing well. Their Busquets is extremely slow. If you look at their back line, they're suspect in making so many defensive errors. They've conceded around 39 to 40 goals in the league into a league that hasn't been scoring as much in the past. And it's one of the more defensive leagues this season, which is kind of ironic considering it's La Liga. But the fact that Barcelona have been suspect this whole season, that kind of lays off the pressure. Do you know who has more pressure than them? Well, is Manchester City. PSG. PSG are in an extremely easy bracket. And you can say, well, historically, they have no Champions League history. Well, I mean, listen, they have Neymar, they have Mbappe, they have a ton of superstars. They're in a far easier bracket. They are expected to win. So if you talk about pressure, easily on PSG. Whether it's single leg, 2 leg, easily on PSG. For Barcelona, it's less pressure. Sure, Messi's getting older, and no, they're not going to go back to Milan because Barcelona have an extremely amazing academy system. La Masia, one of the top 3 academy systems in the entire world. They still have a lot of money. It's still one of the top 3 biggest clubs in the world, whether you like it or not. So not going to turn into Milan. And when you know what, Messi leaving will have a big hit. But also, you can. I'm a huge Messi fan, as a lot of you guys know. But there's an issue with having Messi on your team, and I don't think it's down to his own fault. But everything runs through him. When everything runs through one player, it can be a detriment to other players. They lose confidence. They feel like they need to defer to Messi naturally. Without Messi, it could actually potentially in the future develop younger players. So it kind of goes both ways.
Okay, so so Rebirth, is your mic working there?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so Rebirth, so thoughts on this whole thing. So you've obviously heard everyone speak and so forth.
Yeah.
Do you think that Leipzig, Atalanta, going into their games, they will feel a lot more confident of knocking out Atletico and PSG? Or
Yes.
do you think that they would have preferred to have gone to their home stadium and given them another 90 minutes? What do you think? How do you think the lesser teams will be viewing this?
Well, it really depends on which lesser teams we're talking about, because depending on which team it is, sometimes they're very confident in their home stage. But I think compared to how bad it could be, I feel like most of the lesser teams will be happy to settle for a winner-takes-all one-off game where we can just give you everything. So I think it adds to the excitement. It adds to the stage. I'm excited. I'm excited for what it could do. I do, as far as, because, you guys have covered a lot of it, and I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. I do think that this format, it has a lot to do with the fact that we don't have any choice in the matter, so we're more excited to get it. But then I would prefer a second, the 2-legged tie, because it makes it much more of a narrative to where the coach, the coaches can now set up how they want to. You can get a narrative going from leg to leg, and so it matters in that regard. Moving on to
so because you're saying that managers would prefer the 2 legs because they can employ more tactics.
Yes, it favors them tactically, because then you can see the managers actually, because Mourinho would rather go for a draw and then go back, and you can see managers flex their muscles a little bit. One of the aspects that I think hasn't been stressed as much yet, as far as this type of UCL draw is the fact that it becomes a marathon, and I feel like this type of situation really is the best opportunity for you to really test the squad strength of these teams. Because if you look at the La Liga specifically so far, they've been playing games like every 2 days, and now it's like Messi hasn't missed Messi can't rest. Messi, and as the games go on, you can see Messi becoming more and more lethargic because he can't rest. You see Benzema in the last game, he came off and he's holding his hamstring. Ramos, you're really testing how strong these squads are. And
no. And also, see, that's a great point, because let's take, for example, Man City. If Man City are to get to the final, they've got to deal with they've got to deal with Real Madrid. They've got to now next 2 days, Juventus, or Lyon. Next 2 days, Bayern Munich or Napoli. Next 2 days, maybe PSG, Atletico, Leipzig, or Atalanta. That is hard. So it's even harder for like a Man City or Juventus who have to have an extra game in August. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. So which one when you come to the question as far as whether there's an asterisk, if you're on the side where there are a lot of teams that you got to go through, I would actually make the radical claim and say if you can get through that, I feel like you should even get even more respect because that's going to be very, very hard for you to do. And as to who has the most pressure, I'd say PSG have the most pressure, and I relieve Barcelona because we all recognize that Barca have a lot of problems. So because of the
So you just made a really great point. Let me just expand on the point. Rebirth. Maybe you are the rebirth of life. So you've just made a point. You know what? I'm signing with rebirth. If Man City, Barcelona, or Juventus win the Champions League, it would for me, I would give it more credit than pretty much any Champions League winner that I've seen. Because of the amount of games they've had to, first of all, because of the amount of games they've had to play through this whole COVID shared schedule, the amount of games they've had to play in such a condensed amount of time, that would be incredible. Which is why I say that, are we sure a team from that side is going to win? Because what they have to do is, Bayern Munich as well. So all the teams who still need to play their second leg, it's their second leg, a quarterfinal, a semi-final, and a final in the space of about 7 days, which is insane. Sorry, Roberto, continue.
Yes, so for that reason, as to who has the most pressure, I give it to PSG because my goodness, these dudes have finished their league. They're just sitting around. Mbappe, Neymar are just chilling. They just smack these dudes 9-0 without a second thought. If you don't win, you cannot justify the amount of money you've spent if you cannot win in this situation. So to me, I'm excited for what this. I'm a Real Madrid fan. If Zizou gets through this, I think everybody needs to just accept that Zizou's a special dude if he can get through this. So, I rest my case.
Okay. So now we're not going to talk about specifics. Let's go about specifics. Let me just hit this from Dean Classic. Oh my God. I equate Pep to Santa Claus or white Jesus. It's not real. He's a fraud. Why do the indoctrinated... Man, come on, you don't need to diss cows like that. Cows refuse to see the big picture. # self-made man Klopp. You see, look, I'm not here to beat on Pep, Guardiola, and all that kind of stuff because the guy has his trophies. He has some amazing coaching, and many people say that he was behind how much Iniesta, Xavi, and all those guys improved. Because I said at the point that Iniesta is one of the most improved players that I've ever seen. Because I remember Iniesta when he used to have hair. He was just a guy from the road. Pep came in, made him one of the best midfielders of his generation. So people need to give Pep respect in terms of the amounts of players he's improved. No Pep, no Raheem Sterling doing the kind of things that he's doing in the Premier League. Facts. No lie, I want to talk specifics. So I want to talk potential quarterfinals. A potential quarterfinal that we can have is now, things can happen, but let's just have fun. A potential quarterfinal is Bayern Munich, Barcelona. One-off game. That is a potential quarterfinal, and I think for me, I'm licking my lips at the prospects of that happening, even if that means that Bayern have to beat my beloved Chelsea, and that's not over. But we're not talking Chelsea because Lampard is in the doghouse. So that will not be mentioned on the stream. So you look at Bayern, Barcelona, and here's how I see it. I want everyone's take on this. I don't know why people are putting Bayern as favorites when they haven't yet faced a top team. You see, people keep making this mistake when it's like, wait. Think about what you're putting them as favorites. I'm like, okay, they've been amazing in the Bundesliga, simply amazing. Bro, they've done this 6-7 times in a row already. Lewandowski, 51 goals. That's amazing. 11 goals, superb. Against who? Against who? You're only as good as your opposition. I give you praise based on the opposition that you face. Yes, this has been a rough year for Barcelona. Really rough, really ugly. Do you really want to underestimate Barcelona with Messi?
Yes.
Because that's what guys are saying. I get it. These guys have looked rough. Griezmann's playing like a side chick. Cannibal has not been relevant in years. But the funny thing is, Barcelona find themselves in a new position. Like, wait a minute. People are actually underestimating us. People are not even giving us a chance. Nobody's even thinking of us as being in there. And that is a very powerful position for them. So let me come to Gatlock with this. If we do have a Bayern Munich, Barcelona, both at full strength, do you feel that Bayern Munich will be far too strong? Or do you think Barcelona will remind people that we know this competition, and Barcelona's experience in knowing this competition will see them through against a Bayern, if we see that happening?
First of all, they know this competition in the Camp Nou. That's their place, bro. Okay. Without the Camp Nou effect, I'm sorry. Let's not forget, we all know how Messi is in one-off games, as we have seen in the World Cup and Copa America.
Oh, so you're saying that he needs the Camp Nou then?
Look, he's a great player wherever, but I feel Barcelona as a whole, Messi will do his best, but I feel they need the Camp Nou. I don't think they can get all these their scruffy wins in the La Liga against Bayern Munich. And it's not because Bayern Munich have faced nobody. First of all, you can only face who you face. And let's not forget, these teams they face, it's not like they've been getting narrow wins. In 2018, you could look at who they faced before Real Madrid. And they were getting unconvincing wins, you could say, and you'd be like, all right. But it's not the fact that they are winning. It's that they're trashing these teams, okay? Look at what they did to Tottenham. Look at what they've been doing. Look at how it goes Lewandowski. It's not the fact that of who their opponents, is how they are beating their opponents. Their organization, it's the organization that makes me feel like, yeah, they will beat Barcelona in a one-off game. Because look, they have someone like Alaba at the back as a centre back, even though he's mostly left back, but they still don't look out of place. Look at that Dortmund team. Okay, that Dortmund team could score 2 goals against PSG, but against Bayern, they could not even find anything because of their organization. Because I look at this Bayern team, they don't look as strong as the Bayern team of old, but they are more organized. And right now, I feel they're more ruthless. Or no, they are as ruthless, but they are organized. That's what I feel about this Bayern team.
So you believe that? Because remember, you can yes, Barcelona will be great, but this ain't Schalke, this ain't Leipzig. It is still a Lionel Messi team, and it's still Lionel Messi, and they're going to have a tactic to stop Messi. So you believe that Bayern will be able to raise the game, deal with Messi, and deal with Barcelona?
Yes, because look, take for example now. First of all, Barcelona still need to play Napoli before they now go to the quarterfinals, and it's 1-1. It's more edgy for that one. And they will have to travel from Spain to Portugal before they actually start within those days. Although Bayern still have to travel, but they won't have much to do. No offense. Look, Barcelona, man for man, I feel they have better players, honestly, based on both money and singular quality. But Bayern are more of a team. They're harder to beat. They have a striker who can actually score. No offense to Suarez, but he's not really as good as he once was.
When did Lewandowski show up in a Champions League semi?
Okay, look, to be fair to Lewandowski, I get that he has been rubbish in the past, but he has actually turned up. He scored against you guys, and
Wait, just okay. Wait. I'm not here, guys. I'm not hating on Bayern Munich. Okay, trust me. I love and I respect Bayern Munich, and because I told you I love Alphonso Davies, and you know how much I appreciate Lewandowski. I'm just trying to bring a balanced view to this, because I think that there's been a very one-sided view in terms of how people have been viewing Bayern, and I've just never really understood why they've been put as such overwhelming favorites when they haven't faced any top opposition. But yeah, Gatlock, continue.
Nah, look, they're not overwhelming favorites, man. They can choke. That's Bayern Munich. But the thing is, if you look at except for 2016, since they last won it, they usually go out to the champions. We usually win it at the end of the day. So it's a tricky one for Bayern. The only thing I'm worried about is the fact that they have a whole month this July before they actually start playing again. So would they be rusty? I don't know. But that's the only thing I'm worried about Bayern Munich.
Okay, so
however, if you look at the fact that all this stuff, if you look at the fact that all these tough games are coming in a row for Bayern Munich in the Champions League, that could actually help them, because it will help them raise their game for a period of time to help them, win the competition. Look, for me, I feel the final is between. Okay, if you ask us, I'll tell you then. But I feel Bayern to go through this thing, either Bayern or Real Madrid.
So from your boy, Coach General, who says that all it takes is one of those messy performances, yeah? As in, that's the issue. But the thing, Coach General, is that it's going to take more than that to win it. That could be enough to get you through maybe Napoli, maybe a quarter, maybe. Messi can't literally single-handedly have to produce wonder all the way through, because that is what they thought could happen last year. And Liverpool said, nah, that ain't happening. So you're going to require a lot more. Red, a potential Bayern-Barcelona. How do you see that coming through? And do you think that Bayern Munich deserve their favorites tag?
Yeah, they do. And I feel like the favorites tag is not even about like Bayern's run of form. Let's just look at the matchup right here. Bayern is a young team filled with energy up against Barcelona, who really don't have energy like that. I feel like they could I feel like the fullbacks, like Alphonso Davies, is gonna have an insane match because he's just gonna be becoming so much kind. They're not gonna be. They're not. I don't think Barca can handle Bayern's pressure. But like the super chat said earlier, Messi could just with one pass slice Bayern apart, and like if players around him finish or if he's like he gets into a position, he builds up he builds up and dribbles and like finishes, he could easily put Barca get Barca 2 goals. But can Barca keep Bayern out? That's the thing. I don't think they can. Maybe Ter Stegen, that would be a big game for him if he could like have a better game than Neuer. That's a pretty interesting subplot, but I don't think so. No, I really feel like Bayern they just have too much energy for Barca. I feel like Bayern, they are the favorites for the entire competition.
Why so?
They just have that perfect mix of like youth and experienced players. Like you have like experienced players that play at the top level like Lewandowski and Muller, but then you have Gnabry and I don't really rate him that much, but Coleman.
But also remember, you have to look at the managerial aspect. Because again, look, I'm just trying to bring both sides to the arguments here. Mm-hmm. So, do you trust Hansi Flick against a Zidane, against a Pep, against a Sarri, guys who are more seasoned in dealing with these kinds of games?
The only thing is like it's very hard because his like I don't really know his resume like that. Like overall, I've just seen his recent work and like so far he's done amazing with Bayern. The players who complain about Ancelotti complained about I forgot the last guy's name, but they're not complaining about him. They like him. So I think, and not to mention it's like with the tools that Bayern have, they have a very diverse squad. Like their squad, actually, if you look at like where they got these players, they done some great business. Like they have Coutinho, Odriozola, Perisic. Like these are 3 players that are playing for 3 different clubs last year, but they were able to get them in. Like that's a very stacked squad, low key. People don't really sleep on how deep Bayern really are, and not to mention like there's not really a lot of tension. Everything been flowing through with them since the start of the break. They're in shape. They started before everybody else, so they've been training earlier than everybody else. They just have so many factors in their favor, and like. For Barca, what they have, the beautiful thing, like I really wish Barca go through Napoli because I feel like Napoli are already giving up on their season, so they're going to be pointless in the next game because physically and mentally they're not going to be there. Barca are going head to head. They're in a title race with Madrid, so they're staying sharp. Like they're still focused. So we're going to have a great matchup. Like I feel like that is probably going to be the matchup of the tournament.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the only matchup
this is just an assumption. We're just making this as an assumption. But I hold my hands up and say, I believe Barcelona will beat Napoli. And look, yeah, Bayern, yeah, Chelsea are 3-0 down. Okay, they're 3-0. Gatlock, is there wait, Gatlock, is there a cat
Hey,
stuck in your
don't give
throat?
up, man. Your name is Hope, man. It's Hope.
Gatlock,
Hope
is
has
there
its
a
limits,
cat
though.
stuck in your throat? Is there something wrong with your throat?
Hmm.
Are you fine? Do you need a drink of water or something? This
I'm
useless man
alright, man.
cackling in the corner there, useless man. Please, Jamal, come and talk to me, man. Jamal, Bayern, Barcelona, how would you see that matchup going? And how do you look at both of their chances for the Champions League, Bayern and Barcelona? Jamal?
I don't know why you're so sad, Double H. You wanted them. You did. Like, this is
Okay.
what you wanted, man. You got what you wanted.
Sorry,
You wish
Wilton, Bayern, Barcelona, how would you see that going then?
I gave it 50-50 the way I see it. But I can't. Yeah, Bayern should be favorites to win it the way Barca been playing it consistent. But the problem with that, it's only one leg. What if the Saite Griezmann suddenly have his best game for Barcelona? Like, there's so many variables that could work in that game. Like Barca could win, Bayern could win. I see it as 50-50. And the other thing I see.
But who do you say would have the edge? The team that has a Messi, or just the better team who've played a lot better this season?
To me, I would say Barca have the edge because you have Messi. With Messi, anything is always possible. He's playing he has the Barcelona jersey on. He doesn't have the Argentina jersey on. So anything is possible when Messi plays for Barcelona. And the other thing, Barca, I'm a Real Madrid fan. I do think we're gonna win La Liga. And I think Messi is going to be like, you know what? Maybe I could win this Champions. Maybe it's time for me to go all out, man, and just win this Champions League for Barca because that's the only trophy I have left. Might as well go all out for it. I don't trust Lewandowski, man. Ever since he did that 4-goal against Real Madrid in the Champions League, what has he done? He doesn't show up in the big games like when you need him. I'm sorry. I would rather have, even though Barca been choking in the past Champions League, let's be real, though. Messi,
Wilton? You man, I think your mic busted up, or I think your mic busted up. I'm trying to get back in. Before I move on, from your boy Truder who says, at HH and Red, is Courtois Real Madrid's best player this season? He has been phenomenal. I would say he's been one of the best,
Benzema.
but the guy who's impressed me the most has been Ferland Mendy. Red, you want to answer that very briefly?
Sorry, AJ, can you repeat that? I didn't catch the whole question.
On the
So
screen.
HH and Red, is Courtois Real Madrid's best player this season? He has been phenomenal. I say he's been one of, but Ferland Mendy has been the person who's Benzema has been the best player.
So real briefly, I think Courtois is up there. Like, it's really hard because like it's kind of a three-way tie for me between Casemiro, Courtois. No, actually, man, Cruz is like the whole team has been really playing really well. It's hard to really give one player full credit because it's more of a team effort because everybody's playing their role excellently. Like with the few times like Mendy or Varane make a mistake, Courtois is there to cover for them. But at the same time, that only happens when, let's say, Cruz makes a mistake. But like Cruz also been executing everything correctly. So Courtois is definitely top 5 Madrid players right now, like by far. I really find like Ramos has made more mistakes than him this season. Like he really has, maybe aside from his like blip at the beginning of the season, but after the PSG game, he's literally been flawless. Like he hasn't missed a step.
Okay, Mr. Eye Test, a potential Bayern and Barcelona. How do you see that's going, and how do you rate both teams' chances to get the CL crown?
For me, with this game, Messi is on a mission. Yeah, he realizes he's getting older, and
he was on a mission last season. He was on a mission last season.
Yeah. But
he took the mic. He took the mic last season. Yeah.
So this is gonna fire him up even more. He realizes he's getting older, and he wants to go down as the greatest footballer of all time. Yeah, and ever since 2015, he's won a couple leagues here and there. He bottled the World Cup. He bottled the Champions League in a couple occasions. He hasn't really done anything since 2015, and that's not really good enough for someone who wants to go down as the GOAT. So he realizes he's 33 now, and he needs to do something big to add to his resume. So it gives him a stronger case to be in the greatest of all time. Because, and I think if he wins this Champions League, this probably could be his biggest achievement of his career. Because a lot of you talk about, Pep can't win the Champions League without Lionel Messi. What about Messi without Xavi and Iniesta? This Barcelona team right now is poor, is struggling, is just lost the league to Real Madrid. If Lionel Messi is able to carry this Barcelona team to the Champions League, this would in my opinion, is his biggest achievement of his career, and it will be a big statement for him because he hasn't really done anything since 2015. So for me, you have to remember Messi's on a mission. He doesn't have long, and he wants that. And you also can't forget the Ooze is back. Ousmane Dembele is back for the game. Mm-hmm. Yes. So people need to remember that as well. So I wouldn't count out Barcelona for this game.
Okay, so you're edging. So you think Barcelona will come through and prove people wrong?
No. I still think Bayern Munich are gonna win it, but I'm just saying, don't count out Barcelona. Messi, he has to win this. Like,
okay,
he wants to be the GOAT.
From your boy Junior, he says that Madrid's best player this season has been VAR. You see, come on.
Barca had 19 penalties last season.
People need to see. I don't want this to be a Real Madrid VAR discussion, but let me just dead this very quickly. VAR is a tool that referees use, and if you look at the decisions, those decisions were right. Barcelona fans, you can't be salty if Real Madrid win La Liga because they've won it fair and flipping square. Don't say VAR gave it to them. That is just being very, very salty. And also, you can talk. Sean, if we see a Barcelona and Bayern Munich, who do you give the edge to? What do you rate both of these teams' chances? Do Bayern Munich deserve to be called favorites for the crown?
I mean, yeah, if you just take into account this season, yeah, definitely. I would say them and Man City and possibly PSG. Well, mainly because of the bracket they're on, but also because they've performed really well and they played well against Dortmund. But if you're just looking at which team is playing the best, even since the restart, even prior to the restart, it's been Bayern. I would say second favorite is City. And I think Barca ironically would have a better chance over two legs, to be honest. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, never mind. Barca have a better chance in one leg as opposed to two legs. I think Bayern over two legs because Barca away struggles. So the fact that it's one leg and in a neutral setting, with the players that Barca have, they can turn it on for one game and blitz you and put 3 to 4 goals on you. I mean, depending on how many they concede, it'll be an interesting game. But Barca aren't favorites. Bayern are definitely favorites. Bayern have the better strike force with Gnabry, Lewandowski. Coman I don't really rate Coman that much either. I think Red doesn't rate him that much either. But he can definitely cause Barcelona some problems, especially since Barcelona push high up the pitch too. And it depends on the formation Barca use. If Barca do play a narrow formation like they've been using recently, it actually may pay dividends, mainly because what it can do is it can actually condense Bayern's back line and make them a little more narrow. And then if you push up Alba and Semedo, or I prefer Semedo over Roberto, if you push them up, you can really kind of, and especially considering Bayern won't be sitting back, you can exploit a lot of pocket space in which Messi performs well in the little pocket.
But don't you think Bayern can then hit them with their own transition, specifically with how quickly they move the ball and how dangerous Alphonso Davies can be, so they can go tit for tat?
Oh yeah, that's why I think Bayern are favorites. But I'm saying is, if Barca's best chance at winning is using this formation, or I think the Oos may be back. The Oos is back, then you potentially do a 4-3-3, and then what Suarez, Dembele, and Messi can do is they can interchange somewhat like MSN kind of did, but nowhere near the same chemistry. But you can interchange because they're all that good. They have that Suarez and Messi have that chemistry, so you can potentially do that. Actually, even if from a Barcelona perspective, I don't think I would start Suarez. I would probably start Griezmann in a central role over Suarez because he's better at linking up play than Suarez is.
So who would your front three be then?
For ideally, in a perfect world, I'll go Dembele, Messi, Griezmann. That's what I would do. Dembele, Messi, Griezmann.
I don't know what this
the
hype is
young
about.
with what? What hype?
I don't know what this hype is about with Dembele. Like this dude.
Okay, well, Dembele is
really
one of the most talented. Dembele is one of the most talented young players in the world. He's ambidextrous. He can dribble with both feet. He can score with both feet. He's incredibly fast.
Isn't he like 23 years old? Like,
regardless.
Yeah, but what has he shown basically?
Don't sleep on Oosh.
I'm snoring on the Oosh. Okay, I've not seen him do anything in any of the
I don't think he's a young player anymore, man.
Whatever. Well, 23 is
Sean land. Can you?
Why I hate
land? God damn.
Yeah, so Bayern are the favorites, and Barcelona do have Lewandowski in knockout stage has been poor for the last 4 to 5 seasons. And so Barcelona have obviously Messi, and obviously the comment section is going in on Messi.
But don't you feel that Lewandowski's 51 goals this season, knowing time is running out, he will be especially focused and laser focused to perform?
He had 34 in the league, right? How many does he have in Champions League? Like 9 or 10, right?
11.
11.
So he's 34 in the league, 11. So he's like that's 45. He's like 6 in cup competitions. Is that it? Oh, okay, wow. Okay, that's ridiculous. Those are insane numbers for Lewandowski. Well, then actually you can say that there's more pressure on him. So if you're performing this well this season domestically and in the group stage of the Champions League and even in the first leg against Chelsea, you better do it against one of the worst Barcelona sides of this decade. You better do it. And it's not like you have 2 legs to collapse. Now, if you perform in one, you can go through. So there's an equally good chance.
So you're then saying that there's more pressure on Bayern than Barcelona if they meet?
Yeah, I don't think there's much pressure as people believe in the comment section on Barca, for the simple reason they had a managerial change. When you have a managerial change, a lot of the expectations should be relative. Think about what they've had to do. They had to change formations. They had a bunch of injuries. They're relying too heavily on a 33-year-old. Like it's not a feasible way to win. You can't win a competition this prestigious that way. It's impossible, especially in an 11-man sport. This isn't tennis. This isn't golf. It's not a one-man team. You can't do it. You have to have Messi in a more defined role. And and by the way, people saying Messi have been flopping in the Champions League. I thought last season was his best Champions League run individually. It just so happened that they.
Last season he was great.
Yeah, he was.
3 Champions Leagues. How can you say he's a flop?
I know that's what the commenters did. Ridiculous, man. But yeah, my
okay. All right. So wait, I'm just take the super chat here from your boy, Ms. B Nation. Gosh, man, I can't see. Barca fans.
Yeah, move your shades.
Look, I knew you were going to come with some bloody comment. Barca fans said Madrid would not do well with VAR. Well, I don't know whether they said that stuff, but all I'm saying is that Barca fans don't even bring up VAR. Don't do it, because that is extremely sad and very ironic coming from us, knowing the kind of favorable decisions that they've had. Mr. Yasir Naid, man, Barca Bayern.
Hello?
How do you see that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, if this happens, this will be amazing, because while you guys were talking, I just thought about it. I'm gonna say this now, and this might shock everybody, but I think this is Messi's last chance. I cannot see Messi winning a Champions League from after this year. I think this might be Messi's last Champions League for him to win something. This gonna be Messi's Zidane's 2006. If he doesn't win it, that's it. He's never gonna win it. So I just feel like Messi has to, I think Messi's gonna show up, and he has to. And then if he doesn't, and
what about okay? Who has more pressure, Messi or Lewandowski?
I'll say Messi, because Messi and Lewandowski are challenging 2 different things.
Yeah, but wait, but Lewandowski has never won the Champions League. You know that.
But Lewandowski doesn't get compared to Pele Maradona. This guy is battling to be, like someone said, the greatest footballer ever. There's people like you, HH, that's out there that will always say that he's not the greatest, that he has never won a World Cup, and then this will also add to that fuel. And at this point, it's in Messi's hands. You still have time. This is your chance. And imagine,
Yasir, sorry, but
go ahead.
the pressure on Messi is World Cup, not Champions League. This guy has won 4. I don't think
no, because the
this
thing
that
Very
is,
much
good
problem.
point. That is a
everybody,
very good point.
but the
It's a
thing
very good
is, you
point.
know, okay, guys, when we talk about the greatness, all that stuff, every player, you have to, when you add, the more titles you add, the more Champions League you add, the more your argument, people cannot make an argument against you.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
But like
It's-
Messi also has
No,
Messi.
no. The broader
Messi.
your medals are is what will help. Not how many medals you get in one competition. Is the limit. All of them for club and country.
Normally I disagree with Bricklock, but Bricklock has now become Gatlock for the first time in his life. That is a great point, because it's like he's already won this. So all he's doing is he's just adding to it. Him winning another one does not further his case. He's already won many champions and done many things. Lewandowski doesn't have a single one. And many people talk about Lewandowski as being one of the best strikers of his generation. You can't say that if you've never had a Champions League. So
I mean, that's
Lewandowski
fair.
has to win this.
But
He's got more pressure on him.
But
yes, you can't give me a logical reason how Messi has more pressure to win this than flipping Lewandowski.
There is.
When we have been
This
crapping
time
for
he's playing
years.
with poor
There
teams.
is.
Playing with a poor team this time.
No, there is. Because let's put. I mean, I guess it's all about perspective. Everybody had a different perspective. I understand that, but for me, my personal perspective, at the end of the day, I look at, okay, what have you achieved once your career ends, and the glaring number that I cannot get over is the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo has more Champions League titles. I don't care if he had the better team. I don't care if he had the better managers. Cristiano Ronaldo will have the more Champions League titles, and you play in the same era.
Wait, but you should
That
care.
can-
Yassi,
that cannot happen.
there's one question I need to ask him.
That can happen.
Hold on, there's one question I need to ask.
Factors matter.
See, the thing though is that, first of all, I don't think Messi actually gives a damn about whether he has more or less than Cristiano. That's just
Okay.
But HH, you said it earlier. HH.
Okay.
Let me land, and then I'll give you guys a go. Personally, for me, I've always felt that Messi has never really cared about that stuff, because he just does his thing, and also he's never really cared about that rivalry.
But we care, HH. We care.
Who cares if you guys care? He doesn't care. That's all that matters. Messi doesn't care.
He doesn't care about winning?
Wait. See, let me just land and I'll give you a go. What Messi cares about is, man, I want to just win something with Argentina. Let me just get one more. If I can just get one more Champions League, that would be great. But let me try and win something for Argentina. My question was, who has the most pressure? That's the key word you're saying. How can Messi have more pressure with a crap Barcelona side? He's a one-man army. He's already won this before. Lewandowski has a Bayern Munich side that everybody calls the favorites, is super strong. Everyone is playing at a very high level, and people are saying that they expect them to win this. And you've just had statistically your best ever season. How do you not have more pressure then?
That's fair.
Yeah, hold on. Yasu, I have a question for you. Just one question. Look, when you do the Ronaldo comparison with Messi, what's the first thing somebody brings up? The Champions League or the fact that he has won the Euros?
They never actually talk about their individual abilities. They just compare the team titles.
That's a good.
The Euros is what they bring up first. The Euros is what they bring up first, because that's something they know Messi has not done.
But then that's true. That is true. Got luck. But okay, so just going back to what HH said and answering your question. But then for me, it's like I'm the way I look at Messi, I expect the world from Messi. I expect so much from Messi that this guy, I feel like if he right now, I'm like, you know what? Look, if he doesn't win this Champions League, everybody's gonna look back and say like, man, Messi failed. Messi failed this year. Messi failed the year before. He failed the year before. People will say that.
No. Yes, that's where you lose me, because you've not listened to what I just said. Listen to what I just said. Messi has arguably the worst Barcelona team that he's ever had to play with.
Oh my God, this narrative.
Let me land. Compared to the Rijkaard team, all those Pep teams, even the Tito Martino team, the Villanova teams, this has to be the worst Barcelona side compared to all of other previous Barcelona sides.
Unquestionably.
I'm not saying this side is crap in and of itself. Compared to the sides he's played with, this is one of the worst based on how much he has to do as an individual. But let's look at both sides. Bayern Munich, many people say, have played better and look far stronger than Barcelona. Lewandowski has been touted as one of the best strikers and keep on getting compared to Suarez, Cannibal Suarez, and Benzema. How does he not have pressure to deliver the Champions League or more pressure than Messi? How?
Well, because I mean, for me, I the way I look at Lewandowski is like, even if he doesn't win a Champions League, you still consider him as a great striker. There is for me. That's my perspective. For me, you cannot. Okay, there's an argument that for me, he's never going to be better than Suarez. I think I'll take Suarez over him any day. That's for me. That's for me. He will never be better than Suarez. But for me, Lewandowski, Lewandowski will be the same argument people have for Aguero. That's a bracket I put him in. He's a good domestic striker, and this is nothing wrong with that.
That's why he needs the Champions League. That's why he needs the Champions League.
But then there is something wrong with that. Wait. There's a difference.
For instance, the question I said, and we're going to move, but the question I said was, who has the most pressure?
There will always be more pressure on Messi, though.
Wait, no, listen. Listen to what I'm saying. Everybody has said Bayern Munich are the favorites. Nobody has even mentioned Barcelona as the favorites. So, by the virtue of the fact that everybody says Bayern Munich are the favorites, you are Bayern Munich's highest goal scorer. How do you not have more pressure to deliver with a team who are favorites than a guy who's already won it before already several times with a team that nobody is even putting in as the favorites?
Because one's playing for the greatest of all time title. And the other
that's my point. Red made my point just in that
greatest
sentence.
of all time titles is the World Cup for him.
This guy is fighting against Pele Maradona.
Can I answer
That's what he's fighting against.
Wait.
He's fighting against them with World Cup, not with Champions League.
Okay, Red, what did you say?
He's fighting for the greatest of all time title. That's what he's doing. That Messi needs this Champions League. He can't. The Seans of the world won't survive 10 years from now with three Champions Leagues.
Okay, Red. That makes no logical sense.
You literally just said 5 minutes ago that 3 is enough for him.
You
literally just said that.
You're saying that he needs this to vie for the greatest of all time. So you're saying that him winning a 6th or a 7th will give him a stronger argument. He's already got enough. You haven't seen it. No, wait.
I'll tell you why.
Wait. For him to be in that conversation, it's about the Copa America and the World Cup.
Okay, just can't respond to you.
This is already done.
Can't respond to you. Didn't you just say earlier that he plays with the worst Barcelona team of all time?
These Champions Leagues is just adding. It's not furthering. It's toward.
No.
It's just adding. But if he wins the Champions League again, he's just adding to what he's already done. But if he wins the Copa America or the World Cup, he is now furthering his case. That is now new uncharted territory.
But HH, can't respond to that. Just to respond to that real quick. For Messi, HH, you guys were all saying earlier that this is the hardest Champions League ever. Like, it's 90 minutes. If Messi comes and leads this horrible Barcelona side, this garbage Barcelona side, that's just absolutely awful, the worst, and he wins the Champions League with them, isn't that a big boost to his legacy? Yes, he didn't win a World Cup or anything, but this man won a treble of 4 Champions Leagues. 2 of them being a treble, one of them a sextuple, like in being top scorer in them. In addition to 6 Ballon d'Ors.
You see, okay, Red, and then my response.
Oh, history, remember?
Wait. You see, Red, my response to that was that I said pressure. Is there pressure on Messi to win it this season?
When you're called the greatest, yes. When you're called the greatest, yes. Every competition you have to win it.
The thing, whenever
is the pressure more than Lewandowski's on?
Let me tell you why. Because whenever Messi has won, whenever Messi's won a Champions League, it's been with a galactical team. It's been with Xavi, Iniesta's, Neymar's. This time, it's not with a galactical team. If you people go in 50 years' time, people will be like, how come you couldn't win it with this team when you didn't have a Galactical team behind you? So this time, if he wins it, like that will be the biggest Champions League he's ever won, because not with a Galactical team. He's not with.
This is the question. Hold on. Let me. Okay. This is the question I asked about. This is the question I asked to Yasser earlier.
Because everyone has a swap.
Okay.
The question I asked was, who has more pressure, Lewandowski or Messi? Who's under the most pressure?
Who's the bigger player?
That's not how it works.
That's how it works. That's how it works. That's how it always been.
The bigger player has more pressure.
Come on.
The bigger player has pressure. Messi, if Messi gets knocked out, Twitter's gonna explode.
Okay, Red. Let me.
I'm sorry, but Twitter and social media is not the be all end all.
Sean, I'm going to come to you straight at this because I know that you wanted to talk. Let me just paint the scenario, and then I'm going to go straight to Sean because he's been waiting. Let me, guys. Don't worry, Jamal, Wilson. I will let you guys talk because everyone wants to talk. So I will let you guys talk. Trust me. Let me paint the scenario. So let's say Barcelona lose, Bayern Munich win. I could just say, my God, do you know how much Messi has had to do? He dribbled, he did that. Cannibal, you just showed how trash you are. Griezmann, you just showed how trash you are. Busquets, you've just showed that you're finished. And this just goes to show what we all expected based on how this team has struggled all season. Because this team all season through La Liga has struggled all season. So we'll just say, man, it's Messi having to drag a bunch of nobodies. If Bayern Munich lose, people are like, I don't want to hear about Lewandowski's name again. You're just a flipping domestic merchant. You had arguably one of the best Bayern Munich teams who have been one of the best this season, who people put as favorites, and you lost to this Barcelona side, who are getting pimped by flipping Spanish waiters and bartenders. So if I look bad, Lewandowski will look worse. So Sean, I know you were waiting, Sean.
Yeah, and if you talk about pressure, okay, Messi has pressure to win one more Champions League before he retires. I still think he has another 2 to 3 good years left of being a top 5 player in the world, especially if Barcelona makes some key signings. So this particular season, no, there's less pressure on him than Lewandowski. Considering Lewandowski's having a career year individually, he has done nothing in the knockout stages for the past 5, 6 since the Dortmund Real Madrid match where he scored 4. So more pressure is on him. He's on the better side. He's in better form. He's on a superior team. And Red, I know we're not saying Barcelona is a trash team. They're probably still a top 5. They're still a top 5 club in the world. They still have amazingly talented players. We're saying, relatively speaking, compared to what they have been and compared to the amount of dependency they show, at least tactically, on one player. So that's why it's not as good as an overall team as Bayern. That's why there's more pressure on a guy like Lewandowski. He wants to be put into the upper echelon and into a tier where, Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, where those players have been over the past 5 to 6 years. Lewandowski wants to put himself in that bracket. If you truly want to put yourself in that bracket, you have to perform in the knockout stages of the Champions League. You're right. Messi only has 3. He hasn't won it. He's been on teams like with amazing players, amazingly talented teams. But that doesn't mean this specific season he needs to win it, because he still has his contract is until I believe 2022 or 2021. They're probably going to extend it a bit, and Barcelona are going to make signings that can help the team out, which gives him more time to win it. So if he wins it one more time, then the pressure that's why there's no pressure on this season for him. There's more throughout the entirety of the rest of the
Somebody earlier said, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but he said Messi's on borrowed time, and that's spot on. You're saying in 5 years, he'll be a top 5, 38-year-old Messi. You think 38-year-old Messi is going to be a top 5 player?
I said 2 to 3 seasons.
He's getting dispossessed 30 times a game this season. Imagine when he's 38. They'll cripple him. There's no way he could play a top 5.
I mean, the reason why he gets dispossessed so frequently is because
the amount of points. Right, you're spot on.
He gets the ball a lot, and they expect him to create inquiries. He's making too many. So there's too.
But here's the thing.
The point is, Red. The point is why I think that it's going to be the pressure is going to be a little more often, at least in game, is that there's going to be better players around him, more younger players around him. If Dembele gets healthy, if they get Lautaro Martinez, if Frankie De Jong and Ricky Puig become more established in the midfield, And it seems like Barcelona can improve and get a little younger around him to the point where he doesn't need the ball as much. He can just play a creative playmaking role, and he can let other players finish, let other players do more of the running, and he won't get the ball as much. It'd be a lot more pressure on him.
Wait. I want to bring in some other guys. So Jamal, let's get your thoughts on this. Jamal, who do you feel has more pressure to win the Champions League, Lewandowski or Messi, and why?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry guys, but I might have to leave just now. So all I want to say is Arsenal is trash. Arsenal is a waste of space. All these men who was coming for me, they are trash. And you say Tottenham need a central attacking midfielder. They should go and get Kolasinac. Did you see that through ball today? And to set up Son? Oh, that was embarrassing. And Kolasinac can defend. The last time I see Kolasinac defend, it was when he was defending against Ozil. When he was defending Ozil against them robbers. That was the last time he defended. Yeah, so Arsenal are trash and don't come for me. Peace out, guys. I'm out.
This is a guy that did not care about what HHR.
Wow. People I think one guy said to me last night, "Yo, HH, where do you get these guys from on this hangout?" I say, bro, I send out the link, and maybe they said something about me, that these are the kinds of guys that I attract.
To be fair, I think I asked you that a while ago. I think.
Look, it is what it is, man. Like I attract very interesting people.
No, respect all opinion. Respect all opinion.
No, true. So before I come to Rebeth, let me just hear this from Miss B Nation. So Miss B Nation says Messi has more pressure because if he doesn't win the league or champions, they're going to go trophyless. You see,
it's Barca that have pressure, not Messi.
But you see, as Gottlieb said, that's you could say that is a Barcelona pressure that they have. Because yes, that could maybe make things a little bit more urgent for Barcelona in the fact that if they don't win for the first time in about maybe a decade, they have no trophy. But for Messi specifically, based on what he's already done, there is no pressure for him to win the Champions League. I'm sorry, it is pure logic that a guy who's never won the Champions League, playing for Bayern Munich and has been held to such a high regard, who has never won the Champions League, surely has more pressure. Rebeth, who has more pressure, Messi or Lewandowski?
So things got a little crazier there. So to me, I think Lewandowski has more pressure than Lionel Messi, just for the simple fact that, and I think we've mostly reiterated this so far. Messi has won the Champions League multiple times. Like he can let a year go by, and it's not as though he doesn't lose anything for not winning. He does lose something for not winning. It's another year gone. They haven't won since 2015. It is a problem, but he does have 4 in his cabinet or so. Yes, he has 4 in his cabinet. The dude's fine. He has better fish to fry in the Copa America and the World Cup and things of that nature. Beyond that, though, when I really think about it, because we're talking about who's the favorites. To me, it's like if you're the favorites, you have more pressure. So just for the simple fact that Bayern Munich are playing so well and we're making them the favorites, which I am, I think that then yes, if you're the favorites, you're in a much better situation to pull it off than Messi, who's dragging a very, very diminished Barcelona squad. And to talk to the Messi side of things, it's not as though, because I don't like the narrative where we're always trashing the Barcelona squad. It's not as though it's simply because they're bad. Making Messi your central focus of the team does have an effect on the rest of the players. They're not trash. They're not like trash players. The fact that Messi's the focal point of the team makes it harder for them to showcase what they can do. And I feel like we should really contextualize that whenever we're talking about Barcelona. So, to put it all into one bow, I think Lewandowski has more pressure because there's more. We're asking more of him because you're the favorites. You have everything working in your favor. You have to do it now. Whereas Messi, dude, has 4 and 6 Ballon d'Ors. Like, bro, we can let 1 year slide. We can. I rest.
Okay. I think. Oh yeah, sorry, Abdullahi. Who has more pressure, Messi or Lewandowski?
For me, I think it's Robert Lewandowski because he hasn't won the Champions League yet. Lionel Messi has won 4, so Messi could a little bit just let this year slide a little bit. I think Lewandowski has more pressure because the way Bayern Munich are playing at the moment, we call them favorite. For me, I didn't put them favorite. I did not. But some people put them favorite. I did not. I have my favorite already, but I did not put Bayern Munich favorite. but they are my contender to win it. They are my contender because they've been playing very, very well. Now, this is not for Lewandowski to show up because the pressure is on him a lot to show. We're comparing Lewandowski with Luis Suarez, what's called, and Karim Benzema together. Now, if you are comparing those players has won Champions League. Suarez has won it. Benzema has won it. Lewandowski has not won it. For you to compare a player with other players, you have to check what they've won. You can win multiple Bundesliga, multiple DFB Pokal. If you don't win the Champions, yes, if you don't win the Champions League, you cannot even compare yourself to a like elite striker. So there's more pressure on Robert Lewandowski to win the Champions League than Leo Messi. And in terms of we're saying with this, I kind of agree with what Ribes said. We need to understand this. That Barcelona team, the focal point in that team is based on Leo Messi. That is number one problem Barcelona are having at the moment. Yes, it's arguably one of the best players in the whole football world. Yes, but you can't build all this kind of team on him. Football is not built on one individual player; it's collective team. We play collectively to win matches. You don't play the individual. Sometimes individual win you matches, but sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't. The focal point in that Barcelona team is based on Leo Messi. If it doesn't show up today, the old Barcelona team will crumble. If it show up today, the old Barcelona team will show up. Now that is the main problem with Barcelona at the moment because the pressure is on Leo Messi to perform, and if it doesn't perform, the whole team is gonna be on huge problem. That's why we need to chill on Messi a lot. Yes, I understand this year has not been a phenomenal year for Messi. Yeah. For me, it's still the best. It's arguably one of the best for me. So we need to chill. If Barcelona doesn't win it, it's not a crime. They could go to Rafael. It's okay with Messi. Next, the new season could come in. They could regroup, get a new player. Like what Sean said is, I kind of understand. I agree with what he said. They can get new young upcoming talent into the team and make them good. But the problem is, do you really trust the board of Barcelona to get a player to play in what Lionel Messi wants? That's the problem.
Okay. AJ, sorry to say, there was one thing that I forgot to say. So the last thing I wanted to say in reference to Barcelona is, especially with Messi being the focal point, is the price to pay for being the face of a franchise is when it goes well, you get all the praise, but when it goes bad, you need to take the brunt of the backlash. I remember the PSG game. Neymar had an amazing game. Who stole the front pages? It was Messi. That's it comes with the territory. You're the main man. When it goes good, it's you. When it goes bad, and I think that's what's with Lewandowski. Lewandowski is the poster boy for Bayern Munich. So in Bayern Munich or Sorn, they're doing well. We're all looking at you. If they suck, it's your own year. So I forgot to mention that.
So let me just hit super chat. I think I missed. So from Mr. Bombast Ablasta, who says Kimmich wears Messi like a glove. Muller gets busy. So by that, are you about to say that Kimmich is going to take care of Messi? If that's what you're saying, I think you are disrespecting what Messi can do. And yeah, Thomas Muller has looks really, really, really good. So I'll definitely give him that. So I think I missed this one from Coach Neros, who said lost 3-0 versus Chef. Who is Chef? I don't know who Chef is. How
Chef
dare
United.
You have hope? Gatlock, shut up. So I don't know who Chef is. How dare you have hope for Chelsea? Because Coach Neros, I'm a very hopeful person. I'm always a very, very, very hopeful person. And I think, and Coach Neros also said as well that every team is going to treat it like 3 finals now. Yes, it's going to be very, very, very intense. And your boy Amchi Pretty said, who's the best CL striker ever? Raul or Benzema? Anybody want to jump in? For me, you've got to maybe side with Benzema.
It's Benzema. Objectively, Benzema.
Yeah,
who and who?
Raul or Benzema?
Raul, without a question. Benzema doesn't even come close to Raul. Raul is one of the greatest Champions League final players of all time. Raul took Schalke to a Champions League. Yes, absolutely. Raul is better than Benzema. Way better. Scores more goals. Raul was a Champions League top scorer for how long?
He's a Real Madrid fan. They both play for Real Madrid. Let Red handle this.
No, bro. Raul is easily look. Champions League finals. Raul has 3 Champions Leagues, by the way, for the people who don't know. 3. Like this guy's a lethal finisher. He was a jack of all trades. He wasn't the fastest or the strongest or most technical, but he could do everything. He was considered Spain's greatest player. He was La Liga's greatest player ever up until Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi just came and just wiped, like destroyed everything. But like Raul was easily like had it not been for Lionel Messi, his legacy would have been so much bigger in Spain. But he was very unfortunate. He was robbed in 2002 also of a proper chance to really compete for the World Cup. But yeah, no. Benzema is not like Benzema. Benzema is a great player. Benzema is probably a more silky footballer than Raul. He had like in certain aspects he's better, but overall as greatness, like Raul's up there as Real Madrid's greatest ever captain. Like maybe like he's not insane. No, it's not close. No, Benzema is not on Raul's level. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Benzema's better.
No, he's not. That's bro. That's just factually wrong. Raul even has more Champions League goals than him. Raul has more Champions League final goals than him. Raul has more league titles than him. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Raul literally benched R9. Like, that's how good Raul was. Like, what are you like? How are you going to say Benzema's better?
Easy. Let's shift this. We need to shift this. So I want to bring in. I want to look at the other side of the draw now. So this is one game. Takes all. I want to focus specifically on PSG, Atalanta. And I think that's us. But we're going to be build up. We're going to be talking more and more and more about this game. So let me just see where I'm at right now. This is where I am right now with this game. It's very interesting because of all these things. It's interesting because of how Atalanta play and how PSG play. So we could be in for an absolute classic. It's interesting because of how are PSG going to look. Now let's be real. A lot of teams that we've seen have look really good after the break. But PSG will not be facing Atalanta on a level playing field. They're going to be facing a team who have played far more competitive games than they have done. So when you now look at this and so forth, because I've got my Mbappe narrative. I know I've always said Mbappe will not win the Champions League with PSG because PSG have a hex. The miracle at that company is I think it's a 25-year hex. So it's a 25-year hex that for 25 years, they will never sniff a seal. It is what it is. I looked up. Do you guys see Atalanta doing the impossible? Because as I've said before, and I've mentioned, if somehow, some way, Atalanta actually beats PSG, I think PSG are done as a football club. No offense to Atalanta or anything. If these guys actually lose to think they're done, so Gatlock, how do you view this Atalanta PSG game, knowing how many goals Atalanta have scored, how they play, how PSG play, and how PSG give team space? How do you see it going?
I remember when I was here for that Atalanta Valencia second leg preview we were doing, and so I can't remember what it was. Someone said that look, Atalanta will do the Italian way and defend their 4-1 lead, and I said that these guys don't have a defending bone in their body. Atalanta have no fear. These guys have scored 80 somewhat goals.
70 something goals.
No, it's 81. I checked.
Okay, it's on here.
Past 80.
87.
81 goals.
87. All right.
Is it 81 or 87?
Hold on. Just give me a second.
Look, man, we have Google, man. Why are we lazy?
87.
Everyone is saying, oh, this. We have Google, man.
87.
We have Google.
87.
Only Man City has scored more goals than that.
87 goals. 87 goals.
How many goals
Only Man City has more goals than them. Only Man City.
Yeah, only behind Man City because Man City have 99.
So these guys don't really give a shit about who they are facing. They'll attack you with all they have. And look, the thing is, these guys have no pedigree, okay? The fact that they're even here is already a miracle. And these guys, they have no fear, man. All they will do is just have fun and attack PSG and see how far they can go. That's all Atalanta need to do. These guys are not afraid of anybody. They will just attack. And look, for PSG, I see PSG should. I don't think PSG should lose against Atalanta. It's just going to be very funny if they do. I think Atletico is going to be
But
PSG's
do you see a
problem.
way that Atalanta can win?
It is, since it's 90 minutes one-off game. Yes, there is a possibility Atalanta could win. Yes, but if PSG turn up, they would win. They would win. I see PSG. I think PSG can win against Atalanta if they turn up. But if they, because I know they have like 2 cup finals before the game, Coupe de la Ligue and Coupe de France, I think. So those should warm them up. And to be fair, this Atalanta level is the kind of level that PSG are used to in the league. Huh? Although these guys are far more attacking, but you know what I mean. Look, I can see a shock happening. Will it happen? I don't know. But PSG should go through this. I feel the Atletico game will be trickier than this one, than Atalanta. But if they do lose to Atalanta, it will really be hilarious. Because if they lose to Atalanta, then it's Atletico in the final for me. Although either way, I see Atletico in the final.
So you're still riding with PSG to get the job done?
Yes, to get the job done. Yes.
Okay.
But I won't rule out the possibility of Atalanta beating them.
All right. Red, how do you see this thing? Atalanta, PSG.
Man, to be honest with you, Atalanta are really good attacking wise, but I think just PSG are just a more balanced team. I think they could outplay them. The PSG can handle attacking teams, especially like Atalanta. Maybe like in Serie A, Atalanta they send out because I don't want to like disrespect the Serie A a lot, but like their style of football is just very like it's very different from what they're used to, like what the league is used to. Whereas against a team like PSG are used to the French teams going out. It's more attack friendly league. So I honestly think Neymar's just going to be too much for them. The only thing is why I'm not confident is because I don't know how good PSG are. They haven't played in months, but they're just too stacked. Like I'm sorry, like Atalanta so far, who have they really faced? Like I know Juve, but like in the league it's different than in the Champions League. But I don't know. I don't think Atalanta really stand a chance. I think PSG. I'm gonna go for a 3-2 PSG. And I really think it's going to be one-sided. I think like PSG are going to get like 2-0 up, and then Atalanta will 3-0 up, and then Atalanta will probably like pull back a goal or two, giving them a chance. But overall, PSG will just be able to see the game out. Yeah, so you just have too much firepower. Like Neymar is just too good.
Wilson.
The way I see it, PSG should win, and Neymar. My man Neymar. This is your chance. This is your chance to prove us all wrong. You're not a sidekick to Messi.
Okay. How will you view Neymar if Neymar plays, he's fully fit, and they lose to Atalanta?
Oh my God! I can already
guys,
see
I don't.
it.
Where did this side chick stuff of Neymar come from? I never saw that dude as a side chick to Messi in the MSN.
No, I'm not saying.
He
I'm
played
not
equally to those guys.
I'm not saying like he's a side chick. I'm just saying that prove us you can win the Champions League without Messi. Just win it without Messi. Because that MSN was a cheat code. Let's be real. But Neymar, Mbappe. I know Mbappe is gonna be there. Neymar, please don't get injured. Easy, please don't get injured, Neymar. This is your chance to prove us wrong, man. We never seen you. Have we seen Neymar playing a PSG jersey in the quarterfinal yet? Ever? I don't think we have. So Neymar, this is your chance, man. This is your chance. Prove us wrong, please, PSG. I still don't trust PSG. I'm not gonna be surprised if Atalanta beat them.
So do you think that PSG fully fit? Do you think that they should even be fearful of Atalanta, or as long as they play their game, they should win?
Definitely should be scared of Atalanta. They're the second highest scoring goal team in top 5 biggest league in Europe. You have to be.
Yeah, but they also couldn't score a goal past what's his name, the right back at City. Shoot, I forgot his name right now.
That's the thing about it. So that's the
10 men
though.
in the City beat them 5.
But
Like
you can't really speak of football like that. Like football is so weird. Anything can happen because Chelsea beat Manchester City. We think Chelsea was gonna lose. I'm not.
Dude, Pep Guardiola put Kyle Walker in goal against Atalanta and still beat them. Come on, man.
Chelsea beat Manchester City.
Red form in December in group stage is different from knockout stage, man.
True, that's true. The time has passed.
Because you can't really bring up games like that. It doesn't work like that. It's gonna happen. Whoever shows up.
That was this season. That wasn't even like 2 years ago. It's this season.
Okay. Or
last season.
So Wilson, you're riding with PSG to get the job done then.
Yeah, they should, but if they lose, don't be surprised. It's PSG. They're your artists. Don't be surprised if they do lose.
But I will get on them if they do lose.
Double H, it's not just that 6-1, man. It's just because
that
of
Man
what
United
they did.
too, man.
That Man United one.
Oh
man.
my God!
Like, bro, you lost with Chung on the pitch. You lost with Chung on the pitch.
No.
Yo, his name's Tahir.
No,
Tahir
Gatlock. Man United doesn't happen without the 6-1. 6-1 was the beginning of the hex.
Yeah, no, it was the beginning, but
of the hex was Man United, and I am fearful. See, if Atalanta beat them, people need to believe in juju and hex and witchcraft.
Yeah, but double it. They didn't have Mbappe, man. They didn't have a star player in that 6-1. Don't get me wrong. The 6-1 was the beginning. Yes,
they didn't have Neymar,
but, bro.
Neymar
the time. They didn't have
Neymar,
but they had Mbappe. They had Mbappe. They had a focal player. They had They had a World Cup winner. They had a World Cup winner.
A 20-year-old, a child.
They had a World Cup winner.
They had a
They had 2 World Cup winners in Kimpembe and Mbappe.
Okay, wait.
And it was Man United's beating.
Wait. Let's
sickened me.
Wait. I test.
And you were at home. Thank you. You were at home.
Atalanta. I test.
For me, ever since 2017, since that PSG game, Barcelona, Neymar has been sleeping. He's been sleeping. But for me, he behind the scenes, he's been improving. And a lot of people have said Neymar's finished. He's past his prime. He shouldn't have left Barcelona. But for me, Neymar, ever since he's left Barcelona, he's actually improved as a player.
Relax.
So you believe
as a player,
that's true.
Me,
way more
I believe it was the right move. It was the right move. But
let him land.
It hasn't worked out as of yet. But I'm telling, he's improved as a player. For me, he's more involved. He's playing the Messi role. He's the main man for PSG. But we haven't seen the CEO yet. It's what everyone has been waiting for. And I believe this season is the season where Neymar, the resurrection of Neymar, is going to be the resurrection of Neymar, and where Neymar will start his new campaign. He's going to win this Champions League. I'm predicting PSG to win the Champions League and Neymar start a new campaign, a new run to prove that he is on the level of Lionel Messi, and he's better than Cristiano Ronaldo. I believe that. I believe Atalanta have no chance, in my opinion. I know they scored the most goals in Serie A. I know they have the best goal difference.
Okay, Itas, let me ask this then. Don't you think that PSG are at a disadvantage, not playing many competitive games, building up to this, while Atalanta have?
Well, they're going to be playing friendlies. They played one today. They won
friendlies.
9-0.
Itas, come on. Are you going to compare Le Havre? Are you going to compare Le Havre a 9-0 against some side chick team?
Yeah, but they're going to play better teams. I want them to arrange a friendly, maybe against Lyon, their fellow French teams, maybe Bayern Munich, because their league is over. Like, I think they're going to arrange more harder friendlies to get prepared for this Champions League, and I think they will be prepared. But what I want to add is, if PSG don't win this Champions League, like you said, they're finished as a club. The project.
It's not just the fact that they're finished. Neymar and Mbappe are leaving.
It's not really.
I remember when these owners bought the club, they had a plan to win the Champions League by 2015. 2015 is now 2020, bro. If these don't win the Champions League, they have to sell the club. They have to end the club.
Just what I said. If these guys. Let me do this way. If PSG lose to Atalanta, I think the club should fold and absolve. And I think it should be they should sell all the players, and Mbappe should officially join Real Madrid.
Of course.
Neymar should go back to living with his mom and his sister. And they should just expand the entire thing. And Verratti should take up smoking 24/7. I think it ends. The club is finished afterwards. Well,
relax.
Bro, you have to remember they said by 2015 they want to win the Champions League. Like the due date is way past, is way gone. They have to end the club. They have to end the club. Don't even sell it. End it. End PSG. Because if they're not gonna win it with all this investment, 200 million on Neymar, 100 million on Killer. Like, how are they ever gonna win it? Like, you have to end the club.
Okay.
End
Okay.
it.
So before I come to Mr. Yassis side, let me just hit the super chat. Thank you very much, Mr. Guffetto. Thank you. It says Atalanta are good. There's no overlooking them. PSG will give them space, but they will give PSG space also. Atalanta haven't seen an attack like this in Syria when they gave space to Man City. You see, this is very interesting, and this is why this is intriguing, because that is why I'm so interested. Atalanta likes space. So Atalanta will exploit that space. And an Atalanta who are match fit will try to exploit the fact that these guys don't have the sharpness that we have. But as you said, Valencia don't have anybody on the skill level of Icardi, Di Maria, Cavani, Neymar, or Mbappe. So remember, Valencia had chances. They had chances, but it fell to people like Gedesh and that dude, something Lopez, that
Rodrigo.
on open goal. So if Atalanta gave those chances to Neymar or Mbappe, Icardi, who are far better finishers and sharp shooters, it could get ugly. So I've always said that, see, PSG should win this, because as much as PSG should be wary of this based on what Atalanta can do in the attack, PSG, like Michael, we're going to be given space. So, but you could have a scenario where PSG have similar to Man United. You have like 20, 80 chances, the ball just doesn't go in. And Atalanta just have that lucky break, boom, they beat you. Yes, it's like, how are you viewing this, man?
This is a tough one because either or possibility, like both possibilities can be like a reality. Because like I can see, because PSG have such an amazing squad, and everyone like they should be the favorite to win the whole thing. Like this team is stacked, but I never questioned PSG's talent in terms of the squad. I always question their mentality. As I feel like there's a lot of those players that are mentally weak. I don't think they're mentally strong players, and I feel like they will underestimate Atalanta, which is always the Achilles heel to PSG, and they will get knocked out by Atalanta because Atalanta has nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose, but PSG has everything to lose, and I feel like PSG are just not a team that can handle that pressure mentally, and they will collapse. And they have done this every single year, and it will keep happening and happening and happening. And at this point, I'm just tired of it, and it's just that's my honest opinion.
HH, think
So,
about it.
wait.
It depends on who scores first in that game.
Wait. So side. So you are going with PSG then?
No, I'm going with Atalanta. I think Atalanta will win.
Huh?
Yes, I think Atalanta will win because I just feel like PSG, they're just think about it, they will underestimate this team, and this is a one game.
So side, you're saying
like
a full strength PSG with Neymar are going to lose to Atalanta with Neymar. And
Will they do with Neymar? Let's see how they play their remaining games.
Because they lost to Borussia Dortmund. They lost to Borussia Dortmund the first leg. Did they not?
That's it.
This is not two legs.
No.
This is not two legs, though.
That was the first leg, man. Was it?
Yeah, there's a difference when you're approaching a two-legged game and a one-legged game.
Yes.
Because the two-legged game, you can always be like, "Oh, I got this. I can still win this."
But still, it's still the Champions League, though. It's still the Champions League, though. Because I feel like
if you think about it, PSG that have won all their first legs is mostly the second leg that usually screws them up. So maybe this will be.
This might be a really high score game too, man.
Because the thing for me is that it's going to be interesting to see. Because I feel like with Red touched on this, when you change the format, while this team, because these teams play two legs, because PSG is one of the teams that came out playing two legs. Because the thing is, you can't just switch to say, okay, we're going to approach this to one leg. I mean, sometimes you can, as much as you can preach it, when you're playing the game in this Champions League, like subconsciously, some players might feel, oh, we might have the second leg, and then realize it too late that, hey, no, this is only one leg. We have to go for it. So I just feel like PSG is gonna underestimate, because PSG are happy right now. They're dancing, they're partying, because they got Atalanta, and
You
that's
can't
the.
underestimate anybody. There's no second leg.
But that's the thing, though. That's PSG's Achilles heel has always been that they underestimated teams, especially Manchester United. They underestimated that team. That's why they lost.
No. But side, don't you think that they would have learned from Man United that we cannot afford to underestimate anyone, and also they know that they're facing a team who have scored a lot of goals, second most goals in Europe. How could they possibly make that same mistake again when they know that that mistake is what led flipping Trashford to score that penalty?
What about the mistake against Barca? Didn't they learn the lesson there?
The thing that's the thing, though. There's in football.
Yeah, but it's Barca though. It's Barca.
But no, but
those guys have pedigree.
You up 4-0, man. 4-0.
And
they didn't have Neymar or Mbappe.
Yeah.
That's the point I was trying to make. United.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Let's just bring some other guys. So, Abdullahi, have you spoken on this?
Not yet.
Okay, so Abdullahi, so PSG, Atalanta, how are you viewing this, man?
AJ, I'm gonna annoy some people here. And it's okay if I annoy people. AJ, you rate Mbappe like winning the Champions League, being ahead of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lyon Messi. Good. I'm saying it right now. Kylian Mbappe is the World Cup winner. I'm not disagreeing. No one is disagreeing that. If Kylian Mbappe doesn't win the Champions League, you have to induct him.
Dude, he has like 15 more years to win it, man.
He's not rating Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and he's rating Kylian Mbappe winning the Champions League. Now being ahead of Ronaldo, Messi in terms of being.
You can't take it seriously like that, man. You can't take it seriously like that.
Look, Outline. Answer the question. Who are you taking, PSG or flipping Atalanta?
Okay, this is two ways. If PSG show up, I can guarantee anybody it's game over for Atlanta. It's likely game over. But if PSG does not show up, it's over for PSG because Atlanta doesn't know how to win.
What? You gotta pick one.
Okay. Look, wait. World Cup 2000. I just need a clear World Cup 2000. I just need a clear name. Who are you going for and why? PSG or Atalanta? Both teams at full strength.
Okay, I'm going with Atalanta. I'm not going for PSG.
Okay, why?
Yes.
Why?
Okay, because PSG lack mentality when it comes to knockout stage. The same way Man City lack the same mentality. They can win 5-0, 7-0, 10-0, 20-0 in group stage. But when they get to knockout stage, they crumble. Barcelona, Egypt.
But this
Man
is one
United.
leg.
That's what I'm saying. That is one leg. There's a difference between a two-legged tie and a one-legged tie. Now, this is where Neymar and the rest of the crew have to show up. If they don't show up against Atalanta, this is not Man City. This is not Bayern Munich. This is not a top tier team. If PSG does not show up against Atalanta. My goodness, Neymar,
Atalanta, not Atlanta.
Parati. If they do not show up against those teams, they should forget about being PSG. If Neymar should forget about playing.
So Abdullahi, let me get this clear. You are saying that Atalanta are going to beat PSG. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you will be shocked. Everybody will be shocked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fool me once, right?
Yes. Atlanta is gonna go. People may say I'm yes. Atlanta is gonna go out there with no fear. There's no fear anything. They will go there and prove to PSG yet you guys can compete. We guys who can compete. We can both compete together. This is the continental competition, so we can compete also together. I'm not gonna be surprised. I'm not gonna be shocked if Atlanta knocked out PSG with fully fit Mbappe, fully fit Neymar. I'm not gonna be shocked because Atlanta needs space to play, and now PSG is gonna give them a huge space. Lot of space. Kimpembe, what's it called? Thiago Silva. They're gonna give them a lot of space for them to show. Papu Gomez. We have Muriel. You have this guy Zabata. So you have a lot of players there who are very dangerous and who can even beat PSG. So I'm not gonna be surprised if Atlanta beat PSG. I'm not gonna be surprised.
Rebirth, how do you view this? Do you really believe that Atalanta will actually beat PSG? Or do you think that PSG will have too much firepower for them, knowing the amount of pressure PSG are on?
Well, for me, I think I am placing my bet on Atlanta. I'm going to Atlanta as well. And my train of thought is very simple. So to me, it's very simple. The amount of belief that I give a team is based off your track record. If you've done enough for me to believe that you can actually make some noise, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. PSG have done nothing, and I don't know why it's so hard for people to admit this. They've done nothing for us to give them this much credit. They've done absolutely nothing. They've bottled it time and time again. So for me, it's an even playing field between Atlanta and PSG, because Atlanta hasn't done anything, but PSG haven't done anything either. And so once we're on a level playing field, I get to choose who I think have a better shot. Atlanta have more to gain. PSG have all to lose. I'm a huge fan of Papu Gomez. I'm like right now, I don't think you have him ranked in anything. I think after this game, you're going to have something to say about Papu Gomez, because the dude is legit baller. The dude can play. I think that Atlanta are about to shock PSG. And take it, if PSG do win, sure, okay, cool. That's what they were supposed to do. It's fine. But I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going for Atlanta.
Wow. Facts. So you actually believe Atalanta actually going to win, beat PSG with Neymar?
Yes. I mean, Neymar's not going to play trash. He's not going to play bad. But as a team, like PSG is going to be shocked at how good Atlanta can be. They're going to be shocked.
They're going to underestimate them, 100%.
They better watch some tapes, man. They got to watch some tapes tonight, man.
Okay. So let's now bring this in now. So we're now going into this is how I want to now phrase this question now. So the situation we have is Juve, Lyon, Man City, Real Madrid. Now, this is how I'm going to phrase the question. People may say, but this is how I'm going to phrase it. I believe Juve are through. I think they're through. So I'm going to phrase it like this. So it's going to be a two-part question. Who do you think Juve face in the quarterfinal? Man City or Real Madrid? And depending on who they face, who do you take to win that game to go on to the semi? So do you think Man City face either Real Madrid, or do you think do you think Juventus face Man City, or do you think they face Real Madrid? And for those teams that they face, who do you think comes through in that quarterfinal? Gatlock.
Sorry, come again. You ask so many questions at once, man.
Okay, I'll put it very simply. So I am assuming Juventus will beat Lyon in their second round game for them to be in the quarterfinal. I'm making that assumption. Now, people have said that Real Madrid have a chance. So the winner of Real Madrid and Man City face Juventus in the quarterfinal. So my question to you is, do you think Juve face Man City, or do you think they face Real Madrid? And depending on who they face, who do you think wins that tie?
If it's City versus Juve, that's a difficult one, but I'll go for City. Because Juve are just, I don't know, they're somehow, I don't really trust them anymore. They play weirdly, but I've not really watched them too many times, but from what I've watched, they ain't that, against an attacking team, they'll get beat. Their defense is not as strong as it was before. So if it's City, they would win. If it's Real Madrid, same thing. I think they'll still win as well. I think Juve out in the quarterfinals for me.
So you're going with Juve, or you're going with Man City?
I'll go with City if it's against Juve. I'll also go with Real Madrid if it's against Juve as well. I feel one of City.
You don't think Sarri can say what's up?
No, he can't. Ronaldo is great, but he ain't gonna be enough, man. Okay. Look, against Atalanta, they needed 2 penalties to actually draw against them. Some of their wins have not really been that convincing. They've been very poor. Their defense is not as strong as it once was before. So I can't really back them when they've not shown me much to back, man. So yeah, I feel it doesn't matter if it's City or Real Madrid, although I believe it probably will be Real. Who knows? But if it's Real or City, I think it doesn't matter.
Okay, who do you think it will be? Real Madrid or Man City?
Yeah, you see, that's the tricky part. Because Ramos isn't there, I don't know how their defense will cope against
And remember,
City's.
it's two away goals for Man City.
And that's the problem. That means Real Madrid need to score 2. And yes, they've been doing well in La Liga. I don't know if they've been doing that great enough. And they are facing City, who I know they can score against. But the question is if they can keep them out, because when I watched that first leg, they got, City caused Real Madrid a lot of problems attacking, and I feel Real Madrid will score, but City will also score, and I think City should edge Real Madrid. As much as it would be sweet if it's Real Madrid because it will make me laugh, I think it's going to be City. That will go through.
Okay. Filton, how do you say it? So, who do you think? Do you think Juve face Man City or Real Madrid?
I think Real Madrid is playing Juventus. I just don't trust Manchester City because they've been bottling it.
They have 2 away goals.
It doesn't matter. You're playing against the greatest club of all time and the greatest Champions League club of all time.
Yeah,
There's always a possibility.
This season feels
of them
different,
coming
though.
back.
That's the thing. This season feels. If it was other seasons of Real Madrid City, I would have picked Real Madrid. But this season feels different. The fact that
It
they
does
won,
feel different, but
they won, and they didn't play that beautifully. City,
And
they
also,
won and
look,
they didn't play that
City
beautifully.
yes, granted, they
because in that first game, Real Madrid should have won that first game. Real Madrid totally
they didn't. No, but look, the first one is that look, I think Real have a chance, but it's very complicated because
it's very
City
slim,
will
but
score. City will score.
we don't. Yeah, but that's the other thing, though.
It could go to extra
we say
time.
Ramos not gonna be there, but City defense looks really, really shaky at times. Like if you can't catch them on the counter attack, you could beat Manchester City.
Bro, Madrid with no Ramos is dangerous. True,
It is
Real
dangerous.
Real can hurt City, but also as well, no Ramos. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
But I have to believe it. Like you said, I have to have hope. But Juve, if City does play Juve, I would, because Cristiano Ronaldo is Mr. Champions League. You always have a chance with him when he's on your team. But the problem, I don't trust Sarri and his tactic, because Cristiano Ronaldo alone, he can do it. He could maybe, if he gets a hat trick, I'm not even gonna be surprised anymore. But
Although
Man City attacking prowess is gonna be too much for Juve because the defense is so bad. Like they're winning 2. I know it was against AC Milan, but bloody hell, you up 2-0 against AC Milan, man, and you lose 4-2. Like AC Milan is totally trashed, like right now. But I would think City they should edge Juve out, like the way it is. But if Man City bottles it, I'm not gonna be surprised. They bottled it against Monaco, against Tottenham, against Liverpool. Like I just don't trust Man City.
Okay, wait, Double H. One point. I just remember something with Ronaldo. Since this is winner take all, this guy is going to do his best not to lose in the quarterfinals.
That's what I'm saying. He's Mr. Champions League. He loves those big games, man. He fights on those big games.
So that
don't be surprised if he gets 2 penalties though.
Yeah, so Juve quarterfinal might be a bit trickier. Juve could do it, but I guess I'll
you can't bank against Cristiano in this competition.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Man.
If you have Dybala, Douglas Costa, Cristiano,
ever since
form, they could be Man City. If you have those 3 guys playing at the best, they could be Manchester City.
I don't rate Dybala in Champions League.
Wait, let's bring your boy eye test. How do you see this thing going? So who do you think Juve face City, Real Madrid, and who do you think wins the game?
For me, there's no way Real Madrid are gonna win this. When I look at that Real Madrid team, I know. Listen. I know they've been doing well in La Liga, but when I look at that team, I'm not scared. Like there's no one that really scares me other than Benzema. Hazard's been missing all season. The pressure's on him. He knows, bro. Hazard knows this game. He has to turn up, because he's been missing this whole season. He has to turn up to make the wrongs right.
No, bro, I think this season would be.
He called me last night. He told me he's turning up.
I think he's going through some mental issues personally.
Nah, he called me last night. He told me he's turning up again next season.
That's not funny, bro.
Mr. Hashtag no excuse. He just came up with a great excuse for Hazard, right?
Yeah. He called me last night. Hazard's turning up. Those people
I just talk.
Well, also, when I look at the numbers, when I see Benzema is their top goal scorer with Ramos as second, bro, what type of team is this? And Benzema's not even a goal scorer, I'm not really scared of him either. So for me, there's no way Real Madrid beat Man City. For me, the real question should be Lyon or Juventus, because I think it's more likely that Lyon beat Juventus than Real Madrid beat City, because they have Memphis Depay back and they're 1-0 up. They're 1-0 up, and last game they beat Juventus without Memphis Depay, their best player. So
But come on. Juve are at the crib. Juve have a lot more pressure. Lyon have no pressure on them. I mean, and do you really think that Cristiano is going to get knocked out in the round of 16 by Lyon and Memphis Depay? Really?
Listen, Ronaldo's finished.
Relax,
he should go MLS. I'm telling you, Ronaldo should go MLS right now. Like already, he's destroying it. When I don't watch Syria a lot, but I've watched a couple games since lockdown, and he doesn't look the same, and Juventus don't look the same. I saw the game against AC Milan. They conceded 4 goals, and bro, I'm telling you, it's more likely Lyon beat Juventus than City. Real Madrid beat City, and I actually believe Lyon will face City in the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
I hope not.
I believe Lyon will beat Juventus. I'm telling you.
Praying it's not, man. I'm praying it's not.
Okay. Yasir Said, man, how do you see this rolling, man?
So the question is,
so basically, I'm
assuming Juventus.
So I'm assuming that Juve will make the quarterfinal. Who do Juve face in the quarter? Man City or Real Madrid?
Easy, Real Madrid. It's not even. It's just logical sense that Real Madrid is going to come out of Man City, because like the thing is,
even if City are up by 2 away goals.
It doesn't matter.
Yes. Look. Okay, let me explain something to people that have, because people have not watched City this year. City, there's multiple. When City, the 2 games they played against Spurs, it ended 2-2 and it ended 2-0. Spurs with this team, with this defense, Mourinho had went to the Etihad, Manchester City dominated, and yet they still lost 2-0. All right, put that aside. You already know what happened with Man United. Man United beat these guys 2-1 at the Etihad, and at Old Trafford we beat them 2-0. Chelsea, they beat this team 2-1. So the thing is, these guys, this kryptonite to Manchester City is easy. It's the easiest game plan. You sit back, you hit them on the counter attack, and they're hopeless. They have nothing. There's nothing Guardiola can do other than pray. That's all he can do.
We have the Zard.
And plus, I think the key to this game will
That's
be one player.
Not an advantage.
There's the key to this. There's one player that's key to this game. That's Vinicius. That's Vinicius Jr. If Vinicius Jr. plays this game, it's a wrap. There's no defender. And that back line that can keep up with Vinicius Jr.
Kyle Walker.
That's it. Kyle who? Kyle what? Anyways, so Fernandinho, Laporte cannot keep up with this guy. He's gonna dust these guys. He's gonna run ragged around this defense. And okay, you don't have Ramos, but all you have to do is let them keep the ball and sit back and let them break down to you. And then when they will make a mistake, you counterattack. That's 2 goals right there. And the thing about it is at Etihad, it's away. So every goal they score, yes, if I don't care how many City goals scores, all Real Madrid have to do is win by 2 goals. It's not even wait. It's 2-1, right?
Yeah,
it's 2-1, right?
2-0, 3-1.
So a 2-0 Real Madrid wins. 3-1 Real Madrid wins. 4-2 Real Madrid wins. You see that Manchester City is at the biggest disadvantage, in my opinion, and that's my opinion, because they're playing at away, they're playing at home, So that means every goal that Real Madrid scores it adds that much pressure. If Real Madrid scores 2 goals, is what are they gonna do? What is Manchester City gonna do? It's like every goal will count as 2.
Pep's gonna drink water.
They don't
these guys. This guy say they don't have a goal scorer. This guy, bro, who scored against Borkoine? He came in. He played 2 games and he scored 2 goals against Manchester City. Like, I am telling you guys, Real Madrid is gonna beat Manchester City. This is what's gonna happen. And let's go to Real Madrid and Juve, right? I'm gonna say this right now. I see a 2014-2016 rematch Champions League final. So I see a Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid Champions League final.
Atletico.
Yep.
Atletico and Real.
So
Yes.
We're gonna lubricate them in the final.
Hold on. So, side. First of all, let me just get this straight. Actually, let me just get this straight. Let me put on my shades because I need to understand what CSS side is actually saying, so I can know. So let me get this straight. So no. Let me just understand this. Real Madrid are going to turn around the 2-1 aggregate score against Man City and beat Man City.
Yes.
Real Madrid are then going to now beat Juventus in the quarterfinal.
Yes.
So Real Madrid will now beat most likely Bayern Munich or Barcelona in the semi.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So,
I don't know why you guys are doubting Real Madrid.
No. See, side, that is fair. I agree, and that is all cool. All I'm saying is that when this doesn't happen, I need you to come back to the hangout and explain yourself where you're wrong. Is that a deal?
Yeah, that's a deal. I'm gonna own it up to it. This is what I predict.
People own up shit here except for you, man. You were supposed to do a live stream post match after that Sheffield versus Chelsea. You didn't show up, man.
Zizou gonna work, man. Zizou Juju's gonna work, man.
Oh, sure, no, bro. You two get mad, John. You two get mad. All right. Let me let's go to your boy Abdullah. So Abdullah, how do you see this going, man? Who do you face, Man City or Real Madrid? And Abdullah, if you dare say Real Madrid because of your Pep agenda, man, I will slap you, man. So
okay. In terms of Real Madrid, Man City, it's an easy answer for me. If I close my eyes, I know who's gonna win. Even if I open my eyes, I know I'm not gonna choose Man City because that defense is trash. That defense is very trash.
So who is winning? Who is winning?
Both defenses are trash.
What? Real Madrid's defense not trash. We have the best defense.
Let me chill. Yes, Real Madrid doesn't have Sergio. Lucifer Ramos. I call him Lucifer. I don't call him Sergio Ramos. I call him Lucifer Ramos. So they don't have Lucifer Ramos in their defense. Cool. But are you telling me Real Madrid is not gonna slaughter that Man City defense? Fernandinho, Laporte, Eric Garcia. When you have someone who can run in that defense, Vinicius Junior. You have Asensio who just coming back, getting himself back fit. You have players who can run in that defense.
And that
Man City defense is break. Class A, Class B, Class C break. I still know difference between them and
Championship.
Class A, B, and C break. They should be inducted in academy at all. They should never
wait, my friend. Wait. So I'd like so you're telling me that Real Madrid will defeat Man City?
Yes.
Real Madrid.
No, wait. You wait. Do you realize? Do you know who I am? My name is Halford. My name is HH. Do you realize what I will do if Pep Guardiola messes up a 2-1? I don't think you know what I would see. That's like Pep is winning because see, I don't understand. If he loses, we're having a meal.
You have to take your shades off.
We're having a meal, and I'm talking about. I'm going tribal with the meal. I'm going to go to Delta States. I'm going to go to Warri. I'm going to get starch. I don't know how, but I'm going to get starch. I'm going to manually pound the. I'm going to get starch. So I don't think you understand what you're saying, right? Because Pep to lose in the second round.
I am not confident with Pep Guardiola that defense because they have a very good attack. I'm not arguing that, but that defense look very worse this year. They've lost 9 matches in Pep Guardiola era. It has never happened before. We have put in Pep Guardiola's era 9 loss in Pep Guardiola's era. If you remember very well, Real Madrid are very good away than in home. They are very, very good playing away than playing at home. They are so good. So Real Madrid knows how to win. They doesn't need to do too much.
So Real Madrid go through. So who wins between Juventus and Real Madrid in the quarterfinal?
That's tough. Between Juventus and Real Madrid is tough because when you have Ronaldo in your team, you are already guaranteed a win because it's Mr. Champions League. Yes, Juventus has a trash team because of Sarri and everything, but when you have one player, a vocal point, you have a winner in your team. But Ronaldo, he hate to lose. He wants to imagine playing against Real Madrid, his former team. He wants to prove a point. He wants to show how good of a player he is. Why do you sell me? You want to show Real Madrid there. You want to show Florentino Perez. Why do you sell me? He's gonna give all his heart and his mind to play Real Madrid because he knows how to win. Yes, he knows how to win. He wants to put them. Yes, this is my competition. I am Mr. Champions League. I want to win this trophy because that's the only trophy Juventus needs to win. They can win 20 Scudetto, 1 million Scudetto. If they don't win that Champions League, they are still not a great team. That's what they back Cristiano Ronaldo to win the Champions League. Now, this is their year to win it because all Ronaldo needs to do, he doesn't need to do anything. He has to just win that Champions League and put points.
Okay,
People are saying Messi.
Who is
Ronaldo
winning?
just need to win
Who is
that
winning?
Champions League.
Who is winning? Who's winning? Real Madrid or Juventus? Who's going to win? Who wins that one?
It's a tough question, but I think I'm gonna give it to. I'm gonna slightly edge it to Juventus just because of Ronaldo.
HH, let me say something real quickly.
Okay, wait.
Just because of Ronaldo.
From Wancho says, that's why dude is doing some so before you speak, yes, that are you doing crack cocaine or are you sniffing or are you on any drugs?
Hey,
New content
no.
crack.
Come on,
Real
man. Come on, man.
Madrid's
No,
gonna
no,
beat
no.
Man City, H. Why is it so hard for you to believe that it's gonna happen? It's inevitable.
HH, let me just say one thing. There's a guy named Gareth Bale. Yeah, that guy will have something to say in this Champions League. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know when he's gonna do it, but he's gonna do something, and then everybody's gonna be like, "What the hell? Where did he come from?"
You forgot the
What?
Zard. You forgot the Zard. You forgot the Zard. The Zard.
He-
This is the
he's
Zard.
probably
ain't doing anything, man.
Wait. Okay, so rebirth. So question to you now. So again, you know what it is. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming you can make the quarter. Who wins between Real Madrid and Man City? And for that winner, who then wins that quarterfinal when they face Juventus? Break it down for me.
Okay, so for me, I think Real Madrid are going to turn the tide around on Manchester City. And I'm going to use the same train of thought that I've used before. In situations like this, you need to give the edge to the team that has consistently shown you that they have what it takes to go through these tough situations. I don't know why, because it's not impossible. These aren't impossible odds for Real Madrid. It's like there is a chance for them to turn it over. So I don't know why it's so crazy to assume that the three-peat team with Zidane at the helm. I mean, it's not the same squad, but like I don't know why it's crazy to assume that Real Madrid can do it. Like it's not it's not some it's Real Madrid. If anybody can do it, it's them. It's Zidane.
The Zard.
And for me, in any case, because you guys made comments about Manchester City's defense, I think it's actually quite interesting from Zidane's perspective because Zidane has been slowly massaging Real Madrid to be one of the most powerful defensive forces in Europe, even without Ramos. Because Ramos, when the difference between Ramos there and Ramos not there is great. You instantly see the difference, but they're not scrubs. Like these guys can defend, and specifically when you notice how Pep plays his game, it's almost like Zidane is slowly preparing them to let Pep take the ball and just defend and then counter. It's almost like Zidane is preparing them slowly to what the game plan is going to be once they get to and also I think that so far in this entire season, basically, Real Madrid has been playing without their superstar. Eden Hazard has not shown up. He hasn't. But the dude still has a chance to show up.
He's showing up against Messi.
He still has a chance. And there's one interesting thing about Eden Hazard, because when he first started playing for Real Madrid, he was given a performance here and there, but you notice it was the game against PSG that really sparked him to where he gave that epic performance. I think the way Zard works is that when it's the huge game, that's when he can really draw it out of him. It doesn't get any bigger than against Manchester City. it's like the narrative is slowly edging towards a Zard renaissance. So I think Real Madrid are going to do
hat trick. A whole hat trick.
I don't know about a hat trick.
Dude, that was group stage. That was group stage, man. I'm getting very guys. I'm getting very tired of this now. Come on, man.
True.
Why do you guys like rating Hazard so much? For what? What the hell?
No, look, I'm going to start meeting guys. We have to have order here. Rebirth.
So Real Madrid beat Manchester City is my prediction. So once we go into to the next round with Juventus, I think that as good as Ronaldo is, and this is Ronaldo's competition, I think Real Madrid are going to give Cristiano's requiem and see him off. I think that as good as Cristiano is going to show up, he's going to score because that's what he does. He's going to score, but Sarri's Juventus has a lot of glaring issues. They're not going to be able to stop Real Madrid, because Real Madrid is a very, very well balanced team. Defense, midfield, attack. They're very balanced, and there's a time bomb waiting to explode in Eden Hazard. As much as people don't want to hear it. So I think that once they get into the Juventus Real Madrid match, Real Madrid is going to edge it, but Cristiano is going to do his part, and then we'll go. I don't think they're going to win, but they're going to do those at least.
So that's the wrong thing to say. Time bomb waiting to explode, man. That's a lot of cheese. Let's
bring in Hazem. So Hazem, is your mic working, bro?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So
first off, welcome. For turning up. So Hazem, thoughts? Okay, how do you feel that? Because this is what we're discussing earlier. Do you think it's more difficult over two legs or just the one-legged, one-game affair? What do you think is much more difficult? What do you think is a more tougher task? This current format or the two-legged formats that we know from the Champions League?
No, definitely the two legs, because over two legs, you really know who is the better team. Over one leg, you can have a fluke, you can have a last-minute goal, you can just sit back the whole game and still win. But over two legs, you have both teams coming in different forms with different players, possibly someone injured. And of course, the fans are not there. But you have two 90-minute games that can prove you have to prove yourself, as all the top players have to show their consistency over the two legs. So if you're a top team, then you would want to have the two legs because you have the experience. And this is why I favor Real Madrid as well, like most people here. Many of these players, they are happy that there's two legs because they can prove themselves. But now they're going to have one leg in the quarterfinal, and I think that's going to be the end. So I think two legs is harder, to be honest.
So okay, and so with regards to what we're looking specifically at, man. So my assumption is this. So maybe you think I'm wrong, but tell me whether I'm wrong. So my assumption is Juventus beats Lyon. They get to the quarterfinals. So they now face the winner of Real Madrid and Man City. What do you think happens in the Real Madrid-Man City game? As in, who wins that? And then who then wins the quarterfinal against Juventus? Why?
Yeah. Okay, I'll start with Man City. I agree with most people here. I think Real Madrid are going to go through, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Real Madrid are going to go through, man. I mean, like, everyone expected Real Madrid to lose.
Disrespect to Pep is crazy, bro.
No, first of all, everyone expected Real Madrid to lose at home. Like, Man City were on form, and Real Madrid are not good at home. Come on, like, everyone knows that at home, and especially in Champions League, they're better away. And secondly, Man City, I'm not going to trust Man City after what happened last year. That was embarrassing. They've bottled so many times in the Champions League, and you're coming up against a Madrid that's now on form, and they're banging in goals and keeping clean sheets as well, and their defense is clicking. So I don't know. Man City is scoring loads of goals against Brighton and all these teams, and Liverpool, who already finished. What are they going to do against an informed Madrid team and a fit Madrid team? What is Sterling going to do against? He's going to try and get a penalty or what? Like, come on, man. Like, sorry, man. I don't see Man City as a serious Champions League contender. And Real Madrid. Real Madrid are the more experienced team. They have the better players. I know Ramos is missing the second leg, but still overall the midfield is clicking again of Casemiro, Cruz, Modric.
Okay, but Hazem, let me ask you this. Let me throw this in. Now, unless something crazy happens, by the time they play, we can maybe assume Real Madrid will be La Liga champions. Don't you think that Man City, the way they got beat up in the Premier League by Liverpool, they feel that they'll be under a lot more pressure to deliver the Champions League this season? So
Yeah,
they
but
have a desire to win it.
yeah, but that I think that will work against them actually. They're gonna have so much pressure now, and these players are not experienced under such pressure in the Champions League. And if you talk about pressure, the Real Madrid players can withstand that pressure, but I don't think the Man City players will do well under pressure. And to be honest, Guardiola many times has not done well under pressure. Guardiola is I think one of the most under pressure managers because of such of the high expectations that he set for himself at Barcelona, that he's failed so many times under pressure that I would want any other top coach instead of Guardiola to play well under pressure. And I don't think he's proven enough that Man City is going to, put up a performance against Real Madrid. So I don't think it's going to help them. But I'll move on to Juventus, which I don't know why everyone's assuming they're going to get to the quarterfinal. I don't think they're going to get past round of 16, to be honest. And this was my prediction.
Whoa. So you're saying they're going to lose to?
Yeah, they're going to lose. They're going to go out to Lyon. I said round of 16 max, and I'm sticking to it. And if you see the first leg against Lyon, it was embarrassing, man. Come on, man. Like, it was such an embarrassing game for Juventus. They were lucky that Lyon only won 1-0. And look at Juventus games now. Like, they're literally using the refs and penalties to get through to top of Serie A, and also Lazio is just horrible in the last couple of games. And look at the Atalanta game. Atalanta completely dominated Juventus, and the only way Juventus got 2 goals was 2 penalties. That's it. 2 penalties that were like lucky penalties that came out of nowhere. Come on, bro! Like, they can't even beat Atalanta with a weak defense, and you want to do something in the Champions League? Come on, bro! Like, why are people saying Juventus is going to easily
Cristiano Ronaldo's missing Champions League.
Yeah, but Cristiano Ronaldo is using many penalties recently that he's not going to get in the Champions League. They didn't buy the refs in the Champions League. They have the refs in the Serie A. These are not the same refs. So what is he going to do then? What did Cristiano Ronaldo do in the first leg?
Hat trick.
No, he was sleeping in the first leg. Everyone saw he was sleeping. So what is he going to do now?
Hazem,
I think in the
we said the same thing after the first leg against Atletico, and what did Cristiano do? He dropped a hat trick. Do you really bet against Cristiano to do something big time against Lyon?
Yeah, but that was different, man. First of all, Agnelli was a coach, right? So now we have Mr. Sarri and Ronaldo together, who are literally fighting all the time. Cristiano doesn't fit well in Sarri's system, and he's only scraping past with penalties. Like, he's stat padding, he's doing what he can, and I give a lot of credit to Cristiano. But come on, man, he's not gonna do anything against Lyon. Let's be honest, man. Come on.
Okay, wait, quickly before, because I want to bring in Sanmaya before we round off. So you're saying Lyon, Man City, so I assume you couldn't say Man City to beat Lyon.
No, I said Real Madrid are going to win against Man City.
So you're going to say Real Madrid to beat Lyon?
Yeah, I see Real Madrid in the semis. Yeah.
Okay, wait. On one more question before I go to Sanmaya. So Sterling is a brick against top defenders. Well, he's got a show, but you say he's a brick against top defenders. Ramos won't be playing. And my issue is that I watched Real Madrid in their last game, and Militao and Varane is shaky. That's a very, very shaky defensive partnership. So Sterling plays on the left, so he'll be up against Carvajal.
Ooh,
That's going to be tough.
So wasn't it Carvajal that considered the penalty against Sterling?
Ramos.
Who do you think has more pressure? And this is going to be the same question I'm going to ask Sanmai. So Sanmai, you can be thinking of this question when I ask Hazem. So Hazem, who has more pressure? Because I'm assuming we get a Bayern Barcelona quarterfinal. Who has more pressure, Messi or Lewandowski, to win the Champions League?
Oh, that's a tough one. No, I think it's still Messi because because
You didn't
Messi
ask me that question.
no, because Messi has higher expectations in general. Like everyone knows
Exactly.
everyone thinks Messi is one of the greatest of all. Messi's fans say he's the greatest of all time. So then, if that's true, then of course he needs to win a Champions League without Xavi and Iniesta. Like that's obvious. And the way his team has been bottling in the last years, like everyone is expecting Messi now. But come on, man, like expectations on Messi are so high. But like Lewandowski as well, but not as high because Lewandowski, like he's just been waiting for that seal. He's been doing everything except getting that seal. So expectations for Lewandowski are high, but they're not as high as Messi, man.
But then though,
Can I answer that question, H?
we can say that Messi has already won the Champions League before already. Lewandowski hasn't, and also Lewandowski has a team that are the favorites and a far stronger team, and he's had statistically his best ever season.
Yeah, but still, Messi has won the Champions League. Yeah, that's true. But everyone expects Messi to win several Champions Leagues as a standard because that is a standard. He said, like, people consider him as one of the greatest of all time. Then you expect at least more Champions League. Like, without these play, you have to lead your team to Champions League by yourself, like Maradona did with Napoli, with the Serie A and Argentina and World Cup. Like everyone was waiting for that Messi moment to lead his team and have the one-man performance to lead them to the Champions League, and he hasn't showed that. Lewandowski, like to be honest, he's been underrated and under the radar. Like he's not marketed as well. People don't, if you say Bayern fans, of course, Bayern fans have very high expectations to win the Champions League this season. But overall, people are not looking at Lewandowski. Even like Suarez is more marketable. Like people talk about these strikers more. Lewandowski, like only this season, people are talking about him more because of the numbers he's putting up. So yeah, he has high expectations, but Messi, come on, man, that's next level expectation.
Okay. San Maya. Is your mic okay? Cool. Your mic is so.
What's the question?
So the question is this then. So I'm assuming Bayern unfortunately beats Chelsea and Barcelona beats Napoli. But whenever Chelsea could do something,
that shit, bro.
So who do you think has more pressure in that game or to win the Champions League? Messi or Lewandowski? Keeping in mind, statistically, Lewandowski's strongest season, many people say that Bayern Munich are one of the favorites to win it. Who do you think has more pressure to deliver the Champions League this season? Lewandowski for Bayern or Messi for Barcelona?
Well, I think it will be Lewandowski because he will have more pressure because people know that Messi is playing in a very weak Barcelona team. They already know he's been carrying that team for like 2 years now, I think, maybe more. And Messi already won the Champions League. They know how good a player Messi is. But for Lewandowski, he hasn't won a Champions League yet. And Bayern have been like such favorites for this Champions League. Like a lot of people are putting Bayern as the favorites.
Yeah, that's true.
And like they're pretty much they're favorites for this match, not just for this matchup against Barcelona, but for the whole Champions League campaign. So for Bayern to just go out in the quarterfinal against one of the weakest Barcelona in a long time, I think people will be more disappointed with Lewandowski because he's having arguably one of his best seasons statistically. So people expect him to show up. People expect him to do better, to win Bayern the Champions League, and for Bayern to just go out in the quarterfinal. I think the pressure is more on Lewandowski because if Barcelona go out, they will know, okay, because this is one of Barcelona's weakest team for a long time, and Messi has been carrying this team for like 2 years now, so it's kind of unfair to put this much pressure on Messi. But as for Lewandowski, like he kind of needs this UCL to prove he is the greatest striker of his generation.
Okay. So let me ask this then before we ride out. Honest opinion. You have the team, you have the performance, everyone is playing high. Do you believe that this is finally Bayern's time, but specifically Lewandowski's time to go all the way and win the Champions League? Do you think this is the time, or you're not fully 100% sold yet?
I'm not fully 100% sold yet, because if you ask me if this was two legs, I would be. If you ask me if this was two legs, not in a neutral venue. If we had a home and away game, I would be very confident. But if this is a neutral venue, it's just one game. It's an elimination. It's just one game. If you play bad, any team can beat you. So and Bayern season is finished, like domestically, and their next game is in August. So we don't know how their condition, how their performance will be like in August. And once again, it's in a neutral venue. It's one leg. Anything can happen. What if a player recklessly gets a red card in the 5th minute? We're pretty much out. We don't have a second leg at home to make a comeback or something like that. We don't. So because this is in a one leg, and Bayern lately haven't really performed that well in the one leg. Like I've seen us perform in the DFB Pokal this season. It's just a one game elimination game. We haven't performed that well. Like we're better when in like a two-legged tie, in my opinion. So yeah, since it's one leg in a neutral venue, I'm not too confident, but I still, but like I think Bayern can do it, but there's no guarantees.
Okay, guys, we will be building up week by week. By this, we're getting very close. Augury is getting very close, and with every week, we're going to be building up, getting closer and closer and closer, man.
Double H.
Pressure.
Before we go, the other thing I want to touch on Lewandowski's never winning a World Cup or a Champions League. So or Euro. So this is gonna be his legacy. He has to win a Champions League. He's not touching the World Cup or the Euro. So he has to win a Champions League.
HH, do you like my avatar?
Guys, all I'm saying is this: is that Chelsea have hope. It is not over. Because I want to prove this loser Bricklock wrong. Because if Chelsea turn it around, Bricklock, I will love it. All right, guys. Peace out. I'll see you guys next week. Peace. Become a Football Hut member and gain access to cool emojis on the live streams and get access to new YouTube content by clicking the join button here.
Chelsea, my heart
And
could
to
be
view
Chelsea.
that new content, head over to the YouTube channel homepage and click on the community tab over here.